Hurt myself on
I
this.
knew it. I freaking knew it.
I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, welcome back.
Oh no, you're leaking our DMs. I saw them. Oh, it's all over.
Yeah.
It starts terribly well.
Now everybody knows that
I
I
was-
wasn't here ready on time.
Yeah. I was checking that I had everything set up, and of course I forgot to unmute my microphone directly. Yeah, so this roundtable can start now, I guess. Let's roll here.
Officially.
Officially. How's everybody doing?
Good. We were talking smack about Final Fantasy 14 earlier while you were still, doing your thing. So that was cool.
Okay. We see that we have some people in the chat already. Welcome, everyone. As I announced, today is going to be a bit of a special stream because we are all gonna talk, and therefore we won't be able to interact with all of you as usual. But I hope that you will still enjoy your stay here. So grab a chair, something to drink, some popcorns, and enjoy the stream. I hope you're gonna have a blast. And I think we can start by introducing ourselves. Who wants to start?
Let's go
Don't
through
fight.
the same order as the sound tests. I think that'd be a good idea.
Let's go.
You can do that.
Mhm. Okay.
Wait, was that me first then?
That was
Yeah, it
you
was you.
first.
Sorry, I'm still waking up, so my brain's like, woo!
Yeah, Mister, I woke up at
4
4 a.m. over here.
Hey, leave me alone. But yeah, my name is DJ Johnny, or Johnny for short. For those of you that don't know me, I play obviously a lot of Monster Hunter on Twitch, as well as other RPGs and first-person shooters. I'm also, like my name suggests, part-time music producer. Working on that and actual DJ with mixing and stuff. So, really excited to be hanging out with all these awesome people and slowly sip my cup of coffee when awkward questions come up.
So I think everybody needs to say their main weapon as they finish
Yeah.
the introduction.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
mandatory.
You know what? That's fair. My main weapon is Charge Blade.
Oh hells yeah! Now we're talking. I thought I was going to be surrounded by longsword people, but thank God there's a.
I play other weapons too.
Ew, longsword people. Ew.
Don't start.
I see some longswords in the chat already.
Yeah.
Nippon Steel, man. I guess it's my turn. What's up, everyone? My name is Nightside. I also go by Phil. If you guys hang out in my streams, you know that's my real name. I play a lot of Monster Hunter as well. I also do a lot of other games, like we've been into Zenless Zone Zero as well as Genshin, and we've been getting into Final Fantasy 14 online. Get maggots and have fun. Welcome to the round table. And I am a main, so yeah, it'll be fun.
I can appreciate not having to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you for censoring.
I'm looking
We
out for
heard it,
everyone.
guys. It was terrible. Thanks God nobody heard that. It was really terrible. Peppa, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Do we skip you?
I'll do myself like at the end. Don't worry.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Peppo. If you don't know me, I'm playing Longsword. I'm the Longsword guy. I make content on YouTube since 6 years, I think, at this point. I mainly play only Monster Hunter. I focus at least, mainly on Monster Hunter, but I also play other games, like I played Wild Hearts. I played Dragon's Dogma recently, Dragon's Dogma 2. But yeah, definitely I enjoy only Monster Hunter. I play every generation except the first one. And every time with Longsword. Yes, Rurikan, you said that correctly. So yeah, it's great to be here with you guys, and yeah. Rurikan, it's your
Hi.
turn.
My name is Rurikan, and I hate the longsword. That is just the defining characteristic of my existence. I'm actually joking. This is such a
Bye.
meme in my community. It's like, because it's funny because whenever people ask me what weapon they should start with, I'm like, you should go to the training area and you should try every weapon and then figure out which one you like most, and then you should play that. And you should never care about what anybody else says about your weapon of choice. But yeah, anyways, I'm Rurikan. I do a lot of Monster Hunter content and Soulsborne content. Those are like the two big pillars that I tend to cover over on YouTube. Monster Hunter has been pretty much my favorite franchise ever since World came out. Even though I had played Monster Hunter before that, it's just I couldn't really cover it as much because there was that 1 year gap between, oh, now it comes out in Japan, and then maybe a year from now we'll have it over on the West, and that doesn't necessarily lead to you being particularly successful on YouTube. So I would play it, but I'd never really dedicated as much time up until when World came out, which when World came out, I was like, bro, finally, global release, let's go. I'm like all in, nonstop, and yeah, it's been an awesome adventure. And yeah, I love Monster Hunter. That's it. That's pretty much it. Oh, my main weapon is the gun lance. Shin Cry. Oh, it's the other way. No, wait.
I think it's different for every
Yeah,
person.
it's
I
different
think
for
it's
everyone.
no, for me, Shin is like here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well,
Yeah?
I think
Okay.
what it is
Yeah.
your camera shows you as you see yourself. So if you're putting out your right hand, it shows exactly the way it is, but then
Yeah,
it's
so
actually
I
flipped.
should point this way.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Shin
Yeah.
Cry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
So, do I introduce myself?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Hello, I'm Synchrai. I have been in love with this series for 20 years, but I just started to get into the community recently on also making content. I'm both a bowgun and lance main, and my biggest personal achievement was doing a hitless challenge for Monster Hunter Rise. I'm really happy to be here. And that's it.
Damn.
And we're happy to
Was
have
the-
you as well.
Impressive.
Was the hitless achievement with Lance or?
No, bowgun.
Yeah, of course.
It's always.
I was like, does blocking count as a
Yes,
hit? Like,
yes, it does count as a hit. Yes, block him.
all right.
That's the issue.
All right, then welcome everyone. My name is Nyx. For those who don't know me, I'm a Monster Hunter avid player since Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I stream, I do content creation, I speedrun as well. And my main weapons are bowguns. I'm a filthy ranged enjoyer. I like light bowgun and heavy bowgun, but I've been recently drawn into longsword. So you may have seen me play a lot of longsword recently, but don't think that I'm a longsword main. That's not true.
She's lying.
And
One day.
yeah,
So listen to her where
What?
she says she's actually a longsword main.
these
Don't
two
worry,
guys,
guys.
every time. Do you see? It's a cult. Longsword is a cult. Every time they're like, nah, you'll join us. No, but longsword is cool. Let's be
Become
honest.
part of
Longsword is
us.
cool. Can I just like? I need you guys.
EI
scared.
Spirit Slash.
Yes.
Helmbreaker.
Exactly.
Tripping your teammates.
That's the best
Your
part.
teammates.
Tripping is
If
the
you
best
forgot
part.
flinch free, you will not be able to hunt, and I'm on the head.
Oh man.
Alright.
LSMR.
LSMR, the LSMR.
Long sword.
So, guys, today we're gathered here for a very cool reason. We all played Monster Hunter Wilds, I believe, and we're here to talk about it. So for the context and for the chat, we did all play Monster Hunter Wilds, but in different locations. So Shinkai, Pepper, Rurikan, and I had the chance to play it during Gamescom, which happened a little bit less than a month ago. And Johnny and Nightside, where was it exactly?
In LA.
Yeah.
In LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was in San Francisco. So
Yeah.
there
So
were people that played in San Francisco and people that played in LA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what
Yeah.
happened was that people like Super Rad and Vampy got invited to HQ in San Francisco, whereas me and Johnny got invited to go to one of the PR offices for Capcom in LA. And then when we went there, we had other people in the session as well. Like Maximilian dude was also there, as well as one
Oh,
of the guys
damn.
from 100 Thieves. So that was pretty cool.
VIP treatment. How did that feel? How did you find like the venue overall? Like how was it for you?
You want to start, Johnny?
Oh, sure. I was like, I'm looking at Knight over here. Like, you're gonna say it? So I was an invited guest. So Nightside was able to bring me along through his connections with Capcom creators. So shout outs to Capcom creators for that. Thank you. And honestly, like first impressions, it was really cool. It was held like in a conference room, office style conference room. So nothing bigger than like a 2-bedroom apartment kind of thing. But it was really cool because they had everything all set up. They were also showcasing other games as well. Street Fighter, some stuff for Street Fighter, and then the Marvel vs. Capcom arcade collection that just came out actually. And so we were given an opportunity to play those as well, but obviously we were there for Wilds. That's the reason why we're here. And so I really liked it. It was a really awesome experience. We get to meet other content creators as well as people that are into Monster Hunter, and get to talk to some of the Capcom people and kind of play through the demo just exactly how y'all did at Gamescom, which was really cool and really neat. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying that it was cool. Knight, I don't know if you have any other things to add on to that.
It was cool.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Was it nice? Was it nice as well?
Yeah,
it was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Just cool,
I think-
not nice.
I think the cool thing about I keep saying cool. Damn it, Johnny.
Yeah.
But I think one of the amazing things about that was that, and also to clarify, this wasn't like a I didn't get into this through Capcom creators or through any relationships through Capcom creators. This is actually because one of the PR managers actually reached out to me, who I'd met when I was working as a Japanese interpreter at the Capcom Cup earlier this year. So one of the guys that I met there, he actually remembered that I lived in the general LA area, and that's when he actually hit me up and asked us like, hey, are you interested in trying this thing and basically taking up a session to try out Monster Hunter Wilds and stuff like that. So I mean, it was probably the first time I've ever actually been reached out to by like a community manager or PR manager to have like an exclusive hands-on demo on anything. So that was actually pretty exciting. Not to mention, like when we actually went into the room, it felt like, and I know Johnny already like explained the size and stuff like that, but it really felt like almost like a local tournament setup, like where you have like a table and then there's like a bunch of computers or a bunch of like TVs, a bunch of PlayStation, stuff like that. So plus they had like these billboards that you could like stand up to and like take pictures with. But I think the real cool thing was just being in that room with people like the obviously the PR agency that was there, as well as being able to talk to some of the community managers that were there as well. I think any chance that you have, especially as a content creator, to be able to kind of talk to the people that kind of make these games happen, it's always an exciting chance, like not only on like a professional level but also on like a social level, just building that kind of rapport and kind of friendship. Yeah, that and Monster Hunter Wilds is really cool.
It was cool.
Cool is the name.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be the tagline for this one too. It was cool.
It seemed amazing, and we also had it was also cool for us at Gamescom, guys. I think we all had a bit of trouble to reach the venue first, right?
Oh.
I don't know about you, Shin, but I mean, Peppo, Rurikan as well. Did like
No,
my train was? You didn't have any issues?
Nope.
Oh, lucky you.
I basically, like, my hotel was it wasn't even a hotel, it was like a pension, because I was looking for the cheapest thing that I could get, because the rooms get really expensive for Gamescom around that time, and
Yeah.
I booked everything, and then Capcom ended up paying for my trip to go there, and I got to interview the devs and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
Wow.
So I was way luckier, but initially I booked everything myself, and I'm looking for the cheapest thing that I can stay in. So it was a pension, and it was about 20-minute walk to the venue. So I would just walk there every day. That was kind of.
But you go to Cologne, you did not have any issues with the flights?
Oh yeah,
For the
my
trains?
flight was delayed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
My flight was delayed, and it
there
was
you go.
That's
absolutely
what-
miserable
Oh,
because
man.
I wanted to do the live stream for opening night live for Gamescom. And I was like, I had a 2-hour window to get from my plane to my hotel room to start the stream, and my
Mm.
plane was delayed by 3 hours. So
Dang.
yeah, people who watch that stream know that I convinced a friend of mine to stand in on my stream, so my friend was streaming for me on my channel.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then I,
That's
I
a homie
showed
right
up.
there.
That is a
It
homie.
showed up like, I kid you not, the moment that the Jeff Keighley introduces Ryozo, that is when we were able to figure stuff out and put my face on the stream, and I took over the stream. It was literally as Ryozo goes on stage and we get the
Perfect
and I was like,
timing.
perfect timing. That's exactly
Perfect.
what I
Oh
did.
yeah.
All according to plan.
Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, my plane was delayed as well. But apart from that, like getting to the venue afterwards was super easy because I went in before the venue was even open, one day before. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so the next day
Okay.
it was super easy to just get in there, no issues.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a bit worse for me because I was supposed to take my flight in my city. Like the airport is around 40 minutes from where I live, but 1.5 hour before my flight, I got it cancelled by an email, who said, "Well, your flight is cancelled," and I was like, "Okay, and now what I'm supposed to do? How do I reach my destination?" And I was like panicking, and I was calling the support service, and they didn't explain, like they didn't give me any explanation. They just told me, well, you just go to the airport anyway, and they're
And then
gonna
we're
give
gonna
you
find it out.
yeah, and they're gonna give you a solution. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then like after 30 minutes they sent me another email saying that I was supposed to go to Venice, which is like 2 hours with train from my place, and then get another flight there to reach the destination. So
Yeah.
that was an adventure
That's
basically. And then also when
mess.
because I didn't arrive in Cologne, I arrived at Frankfurt in Germany, and I had to take another
And you had
train
to take
from
a
there.
train.
Oh, you
And
ran.
that was delayed again. So yeah, amazing
Yeah.
experience.
We're both coping via text during the whole time because my train was cancelled and then the next one was delayed. So I also had a rough time. I think I arrived at my destination around like 1 a.m. in the morning instead of arriving at 9 in the evening. So I was really, really annoyed. And it seemed that like a lot of creators that were supposed to go to Gamescom, to let the chat know, had this curse. Like most of the Monster Hunter content creators that were going to Gamescom this year all of us had issues with the transportation, like
Well,
how
listen,
to go there.
The best part about my plane getting delayed is that I'm sitting on my plane fuming. Potentially the flight might even get canceled. They're saying like, cargo door is not closing. We might have to disembark the plane. And I'm just like fuming. I'm like, there's one flight out of Portugal to go to Cologne. One flight. This is it. And I'm checking my phone, and Shinkrai is all happy, like taking pictures with Ryozo. And I was like,
Yeah, we saw that too. We're like,
oh my
man,
God.
what?
This guy taking pictures with Ryozo, and I'm stuck in this plane that's not going anywhere. Like, what the hell?
Shin, you made everyone jealous with this picture. I hope you're aware, because when you took it, we all shared it with one another, and we're like waiting for our flight or our train. Like, man, like, yeah, look at him. Like, I want to be there too. Like, lucky him.
I'm sorry, I didn't have any issue with the plane or the transportation.
Yes,
See,
I-
I told you, these Spanish people, man. I told you. Look at making fun of us right now.
So yeah, and then we arrived at Gamescom. So we arrived at different times, and days for some of us. But I would like to gather like the first impressions of the venue itself, because I was not like, for me it was my first video game convention ever, and I did not know what to expect from the Capcom booth, but it was massive, and it turned out to be one of the booths that had the most people in during the whole convention. And also the biggest queues, if I remember well, even for the guys. So Peppo maybe and Rurikan, you can maybe confirm because you were here earlier than me and Shin. You got in on a Tuesday before all of us, I believe, right? At least
Yeah,
Beppo, you
I mean the more well,
on Wednesday.
I mean in the morning because
It was Wednesday, not Tuesday.
Wednesday.
though.
Wednesday, yeah,
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. And you like, how was it? Like, there were also already like a lot of people that seem to be aware that of Monster Hunter
Yes.
Wilds, right?
Yes. The picture I took and I published on my Twitter account was on 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, and you could already see all that long file. That
And
queue.
that long line, by the way, was actually mostly press. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
even. It was
exactly.
mostly just press people that were in that line. I mean, press people, and later I come to find Kanta, who was also in that line. As a matter of fact, there's a video that I filmed of everybody in line, and I'm 99% sure that Kanta is on that video. And he never
Oh.
called out to me, and I was very sad. I was like, "Come on,
Oh.
Kanta, come on, man." How are you gonna do
Some
me
people
like
are
that?
shy. Some people are shy. They want to protect their identities.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna film him or put him online. I took a picture with Cowslayer and I put a gun lance over his face.
But yeah, it's. I think we saw how many people got in. I know that Casti also got in earlier. I was not there during the morning. How many people from the community did you guys see? Was there a lot of us?
I mean, on that morning I only saw 2-6 in Paradise
Okay.
because I saw you guys like at lunchtime. When you guys didn't approach me because I was trying to film. I was trying to do some content around the thing.
Yeah.
And I never ended up doing anything. It was a complete waste of my time standing out with
Really?
my arms stretched out like this. Like, what is this genius plan that I had that I'm holding a tripod like this the whole time? Yes, this is a genius plan. Just keep holding your arm out like this for like an hour. Yeah, sure. That's
During the whole convention, you mean? We saw you holding this during the whole time. I was really impressed
stage
by
presentation. Yes. Yeah, no, it was terrible. And I never even did anything with it. It was a waste of my time.
And after that, Shin and I got in, and the queue was even bigger. And why I'm asking about this is that I did not expect so many people, even if especially if it was just press, to be so enthusiastic about Monster Hunter Wilds. I mean, from what I know, it has always been a very niche game, and all of a sudden, like since Monster Hunter World Iceborne, it feels like we're the cool kids now. We're playing the cool kids game, and for me, it's completely new. I don't know how you feel about that, guys.
I mean, I was there during Monster Hunter World in 2017, and it was already very, very popular. Like, I had to harass Socks. That was the one time I used my streamer privilege. Hey, Socks, can I skip the queue, please? Like, there's too many people here. Just let me play. I just want to play the game. And that's when I met Socks for the first time. So it was already a lot of people there at the time, but the booth was much smaller. Like, the booth was maybe 1/5 the size of that one. It was a small booth, had like, think about 10 stations maybe where people could play Monster Hunter World, but that was about it.
Wow. Wow. And when you arrived there, and also for Johnny and Phil, I just wanted to drop a question right now. I mean, for us it's a bit hard now because we actually played it. But could you tell us a bit about some of the top expectations that you had from this build that were able to play prior to playing it? Or the expectations that you had from, I don't know, Capcom, and what would be in there? Anything?
Knight, go first.
I think the biggest thing. Thanks for the volunteer.
You're welcome.
I think the biggest thing is that, especially coming off of like Rise and Sunbreak, I think a lot of us had already had the expectation, and I don't know how many of you guys agree with this, but we felt like Monster Hunter Wilds was basically going to be built off or built upon what was established in Monster Hunter World, right? I mean, just looking at like the art style, the art direction, and the general feel of just looking at what the game trailers were showing us, it definitely felt like we were going to get a little bit more of World. So I kind of went into it feeling that like, okay, so long as I am pretty solid with like world. Playing Wilds would probably feel like exactly the same, maybe a little bit different. I think for lack of better words, I think that's like probably the best way that I can personally describe it. I don't know if Johnny has anything to add to that.
Yeah, no, I guess on top of that, like agreeing with you that, it was going to be built off of World, but also seeing that we had just come from Rise and Sunbreak, my expectations were maybe they were going to incorporate some stuff from Rise and Sunbreak into Wilds, right? Because like now we've seen this evolution of the series for how many years now? Like
20 plus years or so.
20 plus years,
Yeah.
right? And we've seen at least for me, I've seen it like grow from the beginning of the series all the way to where we're at now. And they keep they'll bring in either new changes, drastically new changes, or changes from previous titles that now are like solidified into the series. And so and we'll talk about this more once we go into like what we experienced when we did play the demo. But for me, I was really expecting, okay, like what things from Risebreak are we gonna see in this series now, right? What are some of the things that we're gonna see from World, not tracks, that would be great to have into the game, right? And so yeah, I was honestly like the hype and excitement from just being able to experience the demo itself. Like I was already living off of that high, but then I also had to be like, okay, now that I've built up this hype, what is it exactly that I'm expecting from this game? And I will say that my expectations weren't they were met for the most part, right? There's a couple things I was like, we'll see, but for the most part, my expectations were met, and I was happy.
It was cool.
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 It was cool. Yeah.
What about the Gamescom crew? What were you guys expecting from this build which is not the demo? I would like to state it as well. Capcom made it very clear that we're not playing the demo. We played an exclusive build, which was one of the first playable version of Monster Hunter Wilds. It was not the demo. So what were you expecting from that? Me, I did not know that it would not be the demo, for instance. I was expecting the demo to be playable, but then I learned that it was not the demo. It was still cool. But yeah.
Cry, you've been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I think you should speak. Yeah.
Okay, so I was a bit I have a bit tier of approach towards the Monster Hunter Wilds because to give a bit of context, I love Monster Hunter World, but some of the things I love about the series, Monster Hunter World missed them a bit. So I wasn't sure how Wilds will do it. Because, as you say, it looks like Monster Hunter World 2, as a lot of people hate that name. But when they started releasing the teasers, I got really, really hyped because I saw a lot of good change in the regard of the things I love about Monster Hunter. So yeah, I was really hyped before playing the build already. I think the game did accomplish the expectation I have.
Yeah, I actually felt the same. Like it was Monster Hunter at the end of the day. We all knew that they were gonna take a lot of from Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. I mean, that was my expectation, and we already saw something from the reveal trailer. But then yeah, when for example I saw mantles, like we only see I think the ghillie mantle.
Yeah.
I'm wondering like how many mantles we are gonna get back, but I think we can talk about later. Yeah, we could already see that they clearly took something from World Iceborne, and that was what I expected. Nothing more. I also expected them to give all the weapons new attacks, new combo, and so that was also met, and that's pretty much it. Like also some quality of lives. I was expecting the temporary camps I think there were already. I don't know. I don't remember if they said something already before the reveal trailer about temporary camps, or if it was just a rumor. But I expected that after what Wild Hearts did, because I think they, in my opinion, they took inspiration from that game as well.
100%,
regarding the temporary camps, yeah. And so yeah, I was happy to see these small quality of life improvements.
I went into it mostly concerned about what the pacing was going to feel, because obviously when it comes to World and Iceborne, you have a very distinct pacing, which is a little bit slower and more deliberate than when we ended up getting with Rise and Sunbreak. And that's not to say I didn't like Rise and Sunbreak. As a matter of fact, I feel like what I like about it is the contrast that we get between both experiences, where you can have a version of Monster Hunter that's a little bit more grounded. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say realistic, because we're still wielding big weapons, hunting down big monsters and doing all of that, right? But it's a version that is more almost
less anime, maybe.
Yeah. And so it's like, I like having, okay, now we're doing the more grounded one, and now we're doing the balls to the walls one, where everything goes and it's super arcadey and fun and whatnot. So I like both experiences. But after Rise and Sunbreak, I was like, okay, now I'm in the mood for something slower and more methodical. And so when I started playing it, I absolutely hated it, because the version that I played was in German. And
No way! German
Yeah, I remember you told us. Yeah.
the
We had
very
English.
first time that I played the
Yeah.
game
Wow.
was in German, and I've told you guys this. It was in German, and it was the 4-player scaled one, and I was playing alone.
Oh
No
no!
way! So you had the Doshaguma from the start when they told you, like,
Yes.
go have fun, play solo.
Yes, exactly. Play solo, and I would see, like, I looked at the screen. I was like, it says here Hunter 1, Hunter 2, Hunter 3, and Hunter 4. But there's only one of me, and I don't even have a palico because
Challenge
because you have-
mode activated.
Exactly. No, but it was still a lot of fun. The thing was, I couldn't understand most of the things that I was doing, but the pacing I was able to get, which is much slower pacing than we had with Rise and Sunbreak, which was the biggest thing that I wanted to see. And then the animations are all still there in terms of that Monster Hunter animation quality, which is just one of those things that Monster Hunter just has potentially the best animations in the business. So it was good to see that as well, still staying in there, seeing the monsters, the way that they move, all of that, and then trying to figure out how to actually use my gun lance and do any of the crazy new combos, and achieving absolutely nothing because everything was in German. And I even failed my first mount because something shows up and something shows up in the screen and says Frackensrokens, and I was like, bro, this, I don't know.
Du bist drauf.
Something, triangle, circle, and R1, and I was like, what is any of these things doing? I don't understand.
What does it mean?
So I was trying to finish the mount, and I couldn't even finish the mount because mounts work differently now, because you have to do like the focus strike finish and all of that stuff. So yeah, I fumbled around significantly the first couple of times, but then when I got to do my stream, it was very different, and I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. Yeah.
Nice. Well, for me, I had like more grounded expectations in a way, like just practical expectations, more on how I will be able to play and how easy it will be or not, because I was a bit panicking. I thought that I would, when Peppo told me the size of the line of the queue, just to play the public solo build. Basically, he told me before I even got in it, there was Shin also with me, and he looked at us and he said, "I don't think you're gonna be able to play, Nix." And I was like, "What?" Like, imagine I have been waiting for like 2 hours just
I was
for
pretty
the doors
honest.
open, and like
Listen,
even before I was in, I thought that I would not be even to play the thing, right, Shin? We were desperate.
I got really scared because
Yeah, me too.
I went to Gamescom just for that,
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I have to ask you one thing though, because you guys played, but then you got to go on stage because you speak German and they allowed you to go on stage. And I need to ask you, what the hell happened up there? Because like me and Peppo were looking, and apparently it seemed like you beat Doshiguma so fast that the guy on stage was like, no.
Yeah.
Stop. You can't stop. Too fast.
Yeah, that was the impression. Yeah.
I had a light bow gun. What did they expect? Like, I'm just gonna chill. I was actually super chilled. I was checking the ammos and stuff. No. So, how I got on stage.
Checking the ammo and just like murdered Doshiguma in seconds. And like, whoa, you can't do that.
No, what you did not hear. What you did not hear.
On stage.
It was there was like a girl that was presenting doing the animation for the event, and everyone, like the other people that were with me, I don't know what they were doing. I was just doing my own business, and I started shooting, and then the girl comes to me and says, we see that Nyx is like really going hard on the head. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, I'm just hunting. I don't know.
played Monster Hunter before. I know
that's
what to do.
Why are you hitting the monster in the part that deals the most damage? Can you stop?
Just literally, like, she's not stopping shooting since the start. How do you know that you have to do that? And I looked at her and I answered something in German, like, oh, I don't know anything about the hit zones, but I just assumed that if I hit the head, it's gonna die pretty fast. And she was like,
Weird.
okay.
Weird how that works.
Smart.
Yeah, weird how that happens.
No, but it was very funny. It was extremely funny. It was also very spontaneous because I was not supposed to be on stage. That's how I got this plushie, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but just because I spoke German, I got to have one more. But I did not know prior to going. Like, all I had in my head, like, we just finished playing solo with Shin and Peppo. And then after that, I thought, okay, that's it. Like, that's the only experience of Monster Hunter Wilds that I will have. And no, like, then I got to test the multiplayer on stage, so I was super happy. It
Nice.
was super fun. It was super, super fun. But I was just amazed by the amount of people that were queuing, because you had people who were there with camping chairs.
Yeah.
They forecasted the size of the queue when they're not content creators. Maybe they just started.
veterans.
They're like
veterans of Gamescom.
you.
That's what they're doing. Like,
It's insane.
They have the 1,000-yard stare and their little
It's
camping
insane.
chair.
Yeah. It was really, really crazy. I was like, how organized are you guys? And all I was doing is just standing there and complaining about my back pain because I had to queue for 3 hours. But you had people with straight up camping chairs in there. It was insane.
Your back pain, Nix. I was carrying around that backpack the whole day. During that first day, one of my muscles, because I'm an old man, one of my muscles like locked in place. I don't know if you guys notice, every now and then I'm going like, it was like, in here, it was just like locked. It was not moving at all. I was just like, oh, there's something wrong here. This doesn't feel right. I'm getting too old for this.
There you go.
No, don't say that. No. we're not too old.
You are never too old to play Monster Hunter.
No,
Remember.
I'm just too old to go to Gamescom.
Ah.
I went to the presentation with the trailers and everything, and someone went looking for me to do a photo with me. When we did the photo, she told me, did you bring a portable chair? And I was like, no, why?
No.
She told me, you should.
So
Oh,
portable
man.
chairs was something.
Yeah.
They should have made Monster Hunter portable chairs with Monster
was just
Hunter
gonna
Wilds logo
say,
on
they
it.
could-
Yeah, it could have been an idea, right?
Yeah. $1 million idea right there. You could have just told them.
Sell it with a portable spit plushie, you know?
Yeah.
Did you get?
Oh,
did you
man.
guys get
Yeah.
did you guys get to drink the iced tea stuff that apparently they
Yeah.
were giving away to people who were
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the last? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It was free.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
free iced tea, guys. It was really
But
cool.
I think you had to make it to the last 3 hours of line or whatever. At that point,
Yeah.
they would like kind of like give you drinks so that you could
Mhm.
withstand the rest of the wait.
Oh,
Mhm.
man.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
remember
was
if
the
it was on was it on Wednesday that they closed the queue because it was 10 hours long?
No, I think it was
Oh,
on
no, that
Thursday.
was the
second day, right?
Thursday, the second day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Thursday.
That
Because it was
insane.
that was the point that I was like, well, I could abuse my streamer privileges to play a little bit more, but then I was like, but on the other side, there's people that are sitting here waiting for 10 hours, and me taking one turn might mean that somebody that's sitting here waiting for 10 hours doesn't get to play. So I'm not going to do that. Like, no.
That's still that's so crazy though. The queue was 10 hours. Wow.
Oh yeah. The multiplayer one, especially because if you did the single player one, like, listen, Beppo, you need to get a little bit more control, because when you went into the single player and you were just like, I finished in 3.5 and 3 minutes and 5 seconds or whatever, it's like, I mean, I don't know. You gotta maybe need to see a doctor about that.
Hashtag speedrunner.
No, but the thing is, I wasn't trying to speedrunning, of course. It was my first gameplay. Like, I just went there. I was trying to understand how Longsword works in Wilds. And while I was doing that, Chatacabra just died. And I was like, wait,
died.
what?
Why did you go and die
Already?
like that?
I can attest that as well. It just died.
Yeah, and then the guys there just told me, okay, you're done. You have to go now. And I was like,
They were
wait,
like,
what? I
already?
didn't even play 4 minutes. What do you mean? Like 3 hours queue for 3 minutes gameplay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So it's like
That's a
Yeah.
Disneyland line
single-player
right there, man.
version.
Yeah.
The single player version, you'd be able to get in because it was fast to do it, but the multiplayer version was always 30 minutes. You only left when the game kicked you out. So that's why the line for the multiplayer one was so long that it went up to like 10 hours, which was absolutely insane.
And
Which
we're so
kinda-
stupid because we did not even use 5 minutes of this playtime. I really regretted it as well because
but we
at the
didn't
end,
know.
because but seriously, we were like, I remember Peppo was next to me and he was showing me the name of the controls on a sheet in German and asked me to translate it. And while we were
Oh, so
doing
you were
that,
in a
it was
German
still
one
dead
as
in
well?
3
No, just the thing on the table was in German.
Just the thing on the table. We're watching the things on the table. We're like I think we took pretty much our time, and despite that, but we skipped the cutscenes as well. That's why.
You're doing the story version. You're skipping the cutscenes.
Yeah,
Come on now.
I asked the staff
Hashtag
because I was
speedrunners.
curious, like, how much time I can play the solo demo, and they told me, I mean, it's one hand. You should not skip the cutscenes because you're not gonna spend a lot of time just by skipping them. And I was like, yeah, I skipped them anyways. So I tried to have as much time as I could by spending time around the tent, hitting the dummy and watching the hunter's
See,
note.
that was smart.
So,
That was mega smart.
Yeah, but the problem is that I thought that we had a fixed amount of time, like I don't know, like 30 minutes, and then we had to go. I didn't know that as soon as you finish the quest, you had to go.
Yeah.
at some point, the staff came over and say like, you should do the
You
quest.
should start hunting.
You know,
Like, hey,
Stop messing
I
around.
see what you're doing there.
so I tried again Chatacabra. I tried to hit the air so the staff didn't come to complain again. But Chatacabra always came to the hits and died by themselves.
No way!
What are you doing?
Oh, I missed. Oh,
This is
Weird.
drag. I don't know how to
so
play
hard
this
to hit
game.
with my lance. I
Yeah.
can't, guys. I'm sorry. Like, the shot the cobra in front of him, and he's like, I don't know what's happening. I can't hit him.
Bruh. Imagine trying
know
your
that you
best
did
to
this.
miss the monster and the monster still dies so
Monster still
fast.
dies. Poor shot the cobra.
So yeah, I could play a bit more, but not a lot more anyways, because Chatacabra just died. It was amazing how easy was Chatacabra in the demo.
Yeah.
So is Chatacabra the new Great Jagras, guys?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Is
he's-
it our
he's
new
a
Jagras? Yeah,
big-
right.
He's a
Yep.
big push. Like, if you were shooting Shot the Cabra instead of that poor Doshiguma, you would have melted him twice as fast.
I shooted the Chatacabra as well. But I was still checking, like I was getting used to the controls and the hits and the ammo, so that's why it did not die as fast as the Doshaguma. The Doshaguma I was already used to a bit of controls. And also I picked Longsword, which obviously does less damage, so I was taking things slow.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was amazing. It was really, really amazing. So
Now,
yeah, that was the solo.
I have to ask Johnny. You've played Joni. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names.
Johnny.
You played Charge Blade on your session. What was
so for my solo I did Sword and Shield because that's my
Okay.
secondary, and then on the multiplayer I guess the more free like free range play. I played
it's the multiplayer one.
the multiplayer one, which is weird because again
You did it solo.
we did it solo. So I'll go with Shadow Copper first. So I was doing SNS because I also play around with SNS a lot in World, and it was really fun. Me and Knight were obviously like taking notes on like oh like this is a new move set, especially with PR and like the PR movements and stuff like that. So that was really cool. But just like you guys, like it was it's pretty easy to beat Shadowcabra. I wasn't even trying. Like I was legitimately just like, oh, this like I'm just trying to figure out controls. No, I'm gonna be real honest. I was trying to figure out controls and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's dead. Okay. Well, there goes me trying that. Yeah, I was like, there goes me trying that. But then when we were doing Doshigama, I was playing with Charge Blade, and I was really happy with it. So there was I guess we could talk about it more now with like what they did. So with Charge Blade, Savage Axe is still a thing, but the great thing about it is that it's not like Rise was, where if you put away the Savage Axe, it just it just completely goes away. Or at least the how do you call it? The oh my god, sorry, my brain's now off into another world.
You no longer have to choose between charging your
exactly
blade and charging your axe.
Exactly, yeah. So that was a lot of or that was really cool to see because it actually helped out with a lot of combos. But the thing with it is that with SAD, like setting up to do an SAD was a major change for me, because there's a move prior to that before you could do your SAD at the end, which was, it took some getting used to, obviously, because it was a new thing that they introduced, especially with the focus strikes and things like that. But overall, like I was really happy with what Charge Blade has to offer in Wilds, especially with the new parry system that we have going on with it now. As it being a shield weapon, it was almost like, it was essentially just guard point, but now it has a fancy term with it, which is like the parry system. And yeah, I was just really impressed with the weapon itself. I was impressed with like everything that I was able to play with. Like I said, Charge Blade. Go ahead.
Did you overcharge the files?
I didn't. Yeah, I know. That was like the one thing that I messed up on. I was just like, I should have checked if I could have done that. Yeah, because I was still trying to figure out how the Savage Axe mode worked in Wilds, and then I was also like, while doing that, I was like, okay, well, like, wait, now that I know about this, how does SAD work? And that's when we found out about the new SAD setup. So I was so focused on trying to do that and just trying to load my files right away that I didn't consider, I wonder what would happen if you just overload.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not something that's easy to consider because you're so used to how the Charge Blade works. The reason I even picked up on it was because the new moves, right? Sometimes you're spending like half of a file and stuff like that. So at one point I was like yellow mode and I had 2 files spent, but yellow mode fills up 3 files. So I fill it up and I was like, wait, one of the files looks different. What happened? So I get like 2 normal files and then a 3rd overloaded file. And I was like, what is this? And that's when I realized, oh, you can overload the files. This is crazy.
Okay, that's actually really cool then, huh? Interesting. So that would go into, oh man, now I'm just thinking, now you have me thinking.
Does that does that play into the SAED?
That's why I wanted to ask you. I wanted to see if you had tested the overloaded files, because I didn't fully understand exactly how they worked, if they made the shield charge last longer or not, because it still consumes all of them if you shield charge with overloaded files. I do know that the files make more damage. I think they made about twice as much damage as regular files.
Oh, with the overload. Okay.
Yeah, if you're unloading overloaded files. And,
which would make sense too. Yeah.
Chris from Team Darkside was saying that like there's a way to do a full SAD with all of the files where you don't have to do like the thing that it's the amped and then the circular thing that it does, and the SAD. There's a way of doing it off the bat, but I don't remember exactly how it was. Yeah.
So that was the thing that I was trying to figure out too, because I was trying to circumvent I wanted to just go straight into SAD, but every time I was doing world tech, it would add in that extra move, and I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
that's new. And so I was like, that's what I was telling Knight. I was just like, I don't think we could just go straight into SAD, but now that Chris has
And there's
confirmed that we can.
Yeah, we tried it 2 ways too.
I think it might be through guard points maybe. It's like a counter.
Okay.
So you go guard point into boom at full.
Okay.
SAD. But I
Okay.
think there's another thing because not every axe move spends files now, which is kinda
Yeah.
weird. You get to do file discharging moves that actually don't spend files, and I was just like, this is so weird. It's like-
Okay, but I actually like that though, right? Because there were certain
Yeah.
moves, like whenever we were doing especially just elemental discharges, there were some that you're just like, I don't want to spend like a file on this, like this is just like not worth it for me. Or especially when you're doing Savage Axe mode and you're just swinging, the charge blade around.
yeah.
There were times it was just like, oh, I didn't want to use that file, so now I'm like down one file and now I'm down some damage on that. So interesting.
That's something
Man,
to test out at
can't wait to play
TwitchCon.
remote. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So we're actually for those of you that know that with TwitchCon that we're gonna have a chance to play the
Yeah, I think you guys
Demo
even
slash
get to
build
stream
again.
it from there. I think. Right?
What? Wait, you have how? What? you can play Monster Hunter Wilds at TwitchCon?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yes.
So they're
Yeah.
bringing it there.
Yeah.
What?
Some people are signing up for like streaming
some people will
sessions and
get to
stuff.
live stream it. from
That's
there
so
as well.
cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna play it 2 times.
Yeah.
You're gonna be less
Damn.
depressed than us before the demo releases. Congratulations, guys! Let's
Yeah,
go.
so it's something that it was funny because me and Knight we're talking about that on the ride home too after the demo, the show, and we're like, hey, we get to play this again in like 3 weeks or so, and we're like,
Oh, that's so nice.
I am
Cool.
very jelly.
I'm very jelly too. I think
Yeah.
we're
Come
all
to
jealous.
San Diego,
Yeah.
guys. We're waiting for you.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Do you pay the flights? I go. if you pay the flight.
I'll pay for your food when you're there. That's
Can I sleep at your house? I'll pay for the
Yeah.
flights.
oh well, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, I do
Oh,
have the
yeah.
extra bedroom right here. But I think that's like one of the things now, right? Like going into TwitchCon, now that I've already played the demo before, now I know what to look for. Now I can look for
Mhm.
the overloading and the circumventing the like kind of going straight into SAD, things like that. And then it's gonna be really interesting to check that out because like it was what I was telling Knight, like you're so excited and so hyped to be able to play the game that as a content creator you kind of forget that like your fan
Yes.
mode kicks in.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you
co-
for saying
Yep,
this.
yep, yep,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like
Yes.
content creator mode turns off, fan mode turns on, and then you're just like,
Oh
oh
my
my god,
God,
I
I'm so
played the demo. Yeah.
And the,
and so
and the funny thing was, like, I would play the thing in my live stream session, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I want to do the new move, which is called the Wormstake Full Blast, which is where he goes like, "Drrrrah," and then
Yeah.
and that's a whole new move, and I was
Mhm.
like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to pull this move off, and then like. The next day, I'm reading through the comments in my stream, and people are like, "You're so dumb. The thing is on the top right corner. It's a triangle circle after you do this other combo." And I was like, "God damn it, dude! I'm not looking at that."
I was like, I'm not paying attention to those buttons. I'm trying to play the game. I'm
Like,
enjoying it.
I'm live
Just
streaming,
chilling, I'm just vibing.
live
Yeah.
streaming, talking to Jono, and just like trying to showcase the game. It's like the last thing I'm looking is top right corner. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Cow Slayer sure as hell did. That was the first thing he looked at. He was like, he was zoned in. Like, that man was locked in. Like the moment I walk in on him, and he's like doing his capture session at the business booth, and I walk in on Cow Slayer. And because I wanted to see what he was doing, and he's like, "Oh, so you see, you do it like this." He was talking to me. You see, you do it like this, and then after you do the combo like this, then you can do the Wyvern Fire twice. And I was like, Cow Slayer, what is wrong? How do you like? He just got like that analytical mind. Like the second he got in there, he mapped out the combo exactly, and I was like, God damn! dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't keep
Wow.
up with that. It's too much.
Yeah, it's so hard, right? Because we've been looking forward to this whole time. We've
Yeah.
really been wanting to play it. And then when we finally it's like we're like little kids again. We're like, we finally got our
Mhm.
hands on it. We just want to play with it. We want to enjoy, we want to have fun with it. But then the business / content creator side of it is like, you need to make content off of this. And we're like,
You
no,
need
I
to
want to
think.
play.
You need to think.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
many of
but,
us were playing like we were playing past past editions of the game, because like for me, not only I did not have the content creator brain, but when I was playing Longsword, it was completely madness because I just forgot I was playing Wilds and I was thinking that I was playing Iceborne, and it's led up to me missing, like, I don't know, probably half of the new movesets.
Well, luckily, Knight over here was paying, or over there was paying attention to for the longsword stuff at least,
Oh.
because he was going through the motions of doing world stuff, but then also trying to see. And I'm speaking for Knight at this point. Knight, you don't have to talk anymore.
Nice.
Damn. My man's barely speaking. Like, listen, I'm all for silencing law.
Yeah. But yeah, Knight, if you, I guess, go over more of like what your thought process was on that, because you were more on the analytical side as well as trying to, you know, figure out the weapon again, right?
Yeah. So
Let's talk about Longsword.
one thing that you guys might need to know is that when we went to our session, we had an hour and 15, an hour and 30 minutes total of time to just spend on like the session. So me and Johnny split that down the middle. I let him go first. So when he was doing the tutorial stuff, right, that's where I spent most of my time fanboying, right? Even just watching someone else play the game, being able to actually see like actual gameplay of a game that we've been looking forward to for so damn long, I was like, I'm getting out all my hype right now, right? And I even like took the controller a little bit just to kind of try out some of like the weapon motions for some of the weapons, like especially like with dual blades when we were like trying out like the demon flurry and stuff. But after we were done trying out weapons and he did his session, as soon as I went, I already like locked in. I was like, all right, I already know like the two things I want to try is like there's focus mode, and then there's also the new spirit release, right? The new follow-up to the Helmbreaker. So I think just like most everyone, I treated it like Monster Hunter World, right? I played it like Monster Hunter World, but like very quickly you kind of come to realize that like it feels familiar but also insanely different at the same time. As soon as you pick it up, it's like it deceptively feels like it would be like Monster Hunter World, but when in fact it feels a little bit quicker, especially like since the overall move sets for Longsword feel much quicker. Helmbreaker, the spirit thrust is a lot quicker. When you go into the air and you drop from Helmbreaker, it's a lot quicker. Overall, it felt like Longsword felt a lot more responsive, but I pretty much took the time on Doshiguma to like try out everything. So just seeing how like the lateral movement would work with like you know, any of your normals, the spirit combo, and I basically kind of had like a flow chart in my head of things that I wanted to try. I think that was like the best way to kind of like describe what my mentality was. And I think leading up to when we actually got to our session, I had been planning, or at least thinking over in my head, like that flow chart of like things I want to try, things that I wanted to do. The only thing is that I couldn't account for things like, you know, if the attacks are any different if you're using like focus mode in Longsword, and if there was any other moves that had super armor or hyper armor, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost about 100% sure that the spirit release has super armor or hyper armor, because I aimed an attack from Ray Dao. It does, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I aimed an attack from Ray Dao, but it was in the middle of me finishing up on a spirit release, so I was like, oh,
It was wild. I was like, you shouldn't have lived through that. And he's like, I know.
So is Spirit Release the follow-up from Helm Splitter?
yeah. So you do like a flurry of slashes, and then it goes into a sheathing animation, and during that time, a bunch of attacks are just flying out on the screen. So it's pretty much like the new combo finisher to Helmbreaker instead of just going into Helmbreaker, but it does take up one spirit level if I'm not mistaken. So you basically ideally go into red spirit gauge, do Helmbreaker, go into yellow, and then do spirit release goes into white. But I mean, the game is like a mix between like Rise and World Longsword, in the sense that when you do EI Spirit Slash, it does damage, but it also gets you back your spirit level as well. Plus, there's no penalty for whiffing the EI Spirit Slash now, so people that found it very difficult to pull off or execute in World Iceborne will probably be a little happier. Other people might not be so happy about it, because it does add to it does make the weapon play a little bit easier in terms of like meter management and whatnot. But I mean, you know, we'll see how it all balances out once like the game actually like launches.
Yeah, I felt like Yai Spirit Slash, Yai Slash, Special Shift, and also Force Slash were much more similar to Rise compared to Ward. But on the other side, like the Spirit combo and all the normal attacks, the Overhead Slash, the Trust, and the Pace was more similar to Ward, I guess. The only thing that I wanted to try more was like discovering new shortcuts, because they made there are actually new cancels that you can do that I was not aware of when I was recording, and yeah, that's a shame. And so I would pay a lot of money to being able to play again Wilds and test even farther, to be honest.
So I am curious. Do you guys feel like you're gonna still need speed sheathing?
Quick sheet?
Quick
Yeah,
sheet,
quick
you
sheet.
mean?
Whatever.
Oh, quick sheet.
I was like,
The one
wait,
where you
what?
sheet faster.
No, I was just asking because sometimes I mean, you know, English is not my. I don't think like we're a few people here that don't have English as their mother tongues, and I just wanted to make sure that I understood the right skill. That's all.
I mean, I'm English speaking. I still didn't know what that meant. I was like,
No.
is there a thing that I just didn't know about?
I thought he said
I
cheat
was like-
sheeting. I was like, man, he really hates us longsword mains, man.
I was thinking like speed sharpening, speed sheathing.
Yeah.
It was on the every weapon had that skill in the build that we played, except for the bowguns. That's why I was like speed was in my head. But yeah, the faster sheathing skill basically.
Yeah, so the sheathing animation for Special Shift is the same as Iceborne and Rise Sunbreak without the quick shift skill is absolutely the same. I think they are not gonna make it as fast as Rise Sunbreak. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to make it faster than Iceborne, but not as fast as Rise Sunbreak, because otherwise the gameplay would be too fast in my opinion, and I don't think they want that.
All right, I'm gonna stir the pot here a little bit because I know this has been coming up in conversations before, especially with longsword people. But with the introduction
I like
of
what you said, longsword people. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, dude. It's like
with Helmbreaker and the ability to essentially just cancel it out when you notice that you're gonna miss it. Do you feel that that's a good thing, that's a bad thing? Do you feel like people should be punished for that, or you feel like thank God we finally have a way to cancel out of that animation knowing that it's gonna whiff? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
I think that's so cool.
Okay.
I think that was
Yeah, I
needed.
mean, that's,
Yeah. No, but seriously, because it's as someone who picked up the weapon recently, I don't know how valid my opinion will be here, but I noticed that for, you know, stuff in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, we had some moments during the hunts that were extremely frustrating and kind of unfair, such as if the monster is claggering or flinching and you launch your Helmbreaker during an opening and, well, sykes, it's just not gonna land because the monster decided to do something else that was not in the script. Or let's take also Fatalis that can just decide to do random, you know, pinning attacks when you're also in an opening for a Helmbreaker and then you just get punished unfairly. I think it's a great thing to have, knowing that they want to make the monsters more like I believe they said that they wanted the monsters to move even more in unpredictable ways. So I think it does have a certain logic to make the longsword users comfortable with the way they play without having to suffer too much from RNG and just ending up in this frustration that I think every longsword player felt when their Helmbreaker does not land. Because, I mean, let's be honest, it does tear our souls apart whenever it happens.
Not Ruri counts, apparently.
What?
I can just hear Ruri just being like, freaking losers.
Listen,
I remember when I played longsword in Rise a little bit to get a feel for it, and I was like, yeah, Helmbreaker feels fine. And I remember that every longsword man was like, "Wow, my Helmbreaker doesn't have enough reach. Wow, why doesn't there reach?" And
it's
then
terrible.
they patched it to
What?
the point where you could Helmbreaker from across the map, and I was like, "Bro, what?"
So the problem with Helmbreaker has always been his weird hitbox.
Yeah.
Okay, like from
It
the
is-
very
it
beginning.
is a weird hitbox.
I never I'm playing Longsword since 6 years. I mean the fifth generation Longsword, and I still don't understand how the hitbox really works. Okay,
Yeah.
because it's so weird. Like sometimes you get hits on the other side of the monster. I don't know, like you're on the face and you get
And you
the chest, the
hitting
back,
the wings or
and
the
Kind of-
chest.
It's kind of like the clutch claw, right? Where you're like, you
Yeah.
perfectly have it aimed right at
You-
the monster's head, and then you throw it, and somehow you're in the tail.
Yep.
And you're like, I
That was-
swear there was no obstructions. The head is right there. I threw my clutch claw, and now I'm over here. I don't understand. So yeah,
That-
I get it.
like guys, do you remember the Clutch Glow when Iceborne got released?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
seriously, like you were aiming the head, ending up on the tail, and that was
It still happens to me
unbelievable.
even now. Just saying. But
yeah, but at least they
You guys-
they
They
managed
tried.
to mitigate it. Yeah,
you
they
guys
tried.
should
Oh, that's bad.
try unpatched ice, like, no, wait, not unpatched. This was pre-release Iceborne shelling. That's what you guys should try.
yeah,
You have no idea what it
I
was
never
like.
tried it.
Yeah, because the game came out, it received the day one patch, and they fixed shelling because on the review version of the game, shelling was so miserable. The damage was so bad that they had to patch it. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
God damn.
Wow.
Wow. Oh.
So Peppo, you would say it's a good thing then that we kind of
Yes.
circling back on that. So you feel like it's a good thing that we got that ability to be able to cheat that. The
I
cancel.
have mixed feelings about this. So
Same,
the
actually.
thing that Nix was saying is correct. I mean, there are certain cases, certain situations where you land the Spirit Thrust, which is the attack before the Helmbreaker,
Mhm.
and the monster, I don't know, just goes in Clagger, or you get a part break and he topples, or he just, like for example on Demot, you can trigger a light flinch, which is extremely fast. He can cancel whatever he was doing and just perform another attack immediately afterwards. So basically your what was an opening, for example, gets cancelled, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was the problem, and that's not controllable by the player.
Yeah.
In that situations, this is a blessing because the longsword user doesn't have it's not his fault, right? So I can understand that, and that's really good. On the other side, I don't think it is something that was essential for the longsword gameplay, because those situations happen, and like it's frustrating for me as a speedrunner when I'm trying to, for example, get the best times, and that happens and I cannot do anything, and okay, just reset, it's fine. But like for a casual scenario, I think it wasn't that essential to implement. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the mixed feelings I have. Maybe Phil can add something else.
Yeah, it's one of those situations that, I was laughing and I'm kind of like making fun of the whole situation, but at the end of the day, I feel that the way in which I play the game is fundamentally different than the way in which Beppo plays the game. So for him, missing a Helmbreaker is like, oh, that's a reset right there. For me, missing a Wyvern Fire just means, oh well, I have to wait another minute and a half before I can do it again. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like it doesn't make a difference.
Absolutely. And then Knight, did you have anything else to add to that, or?
Yeah, so I'm actually in the same boat as Peppo. It's very much 50-50. Like, I'm happy that this is a thing that we can do now, because just to kind of add to what he was saying is like, especially in like a speedrun environment, because I dabbled a little bit in speedrunning myself. But the thing is that like, one thing to kind of keep in mind is like when you're doing the Helmbreaker, right, and you completely whiff, that's about like almost 2 or 3 seconds or so that you're just kind of stuck,
Yeah.
in addition to losing meter. So that's a lot more time that you have to spend to get into optimal damage range again, because you want to be ideally in red spirit level, right? So saving those 2 or 3 seconds and just like going right into it can save a lot of speed runs, from what I can assume. Obviously the idea is that you don't whiff in general, but then at least you can still kind of bring it back. The other thing is that with the changes to spirit level in this game, I think it's going to be a huge blessing because contrary to Rise and World, if I'm not mistaken, you could refresh your spirit level while you're in red and just max out back to red again. Whereas in this game, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure red just continues to deteriorate regardless of whether or not you land another spirit round slash. So
Kind
But
of. Yeah, there are like
you have like a whole new moveset though, right? When you're in red mode.
yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I want to add something. It's true that you cannot refresh completely the red gauge, but there are some attacks that can fill part of it a limited number of times.
Okay.
So I don't know yet how many times you can do that, but there are certain attacks that will refill the spirit red gauge for, I don't know, 3-4 times. We need to find it out.
At TwitchCon. But
At TwitchCon.
Yeah,
TwitchCon.
That's something you need to test. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's something that Knight's gonna test out.
Well, I mean, I might actually play Charge Blade because Charge Blade is actually my second weapon. So I've been
Not light bowgun?
well, if I play any ranged weapon, it's probably gonna be bow.
At least you can bring a secondary weapon longsword, right?
Oh, true,
Yeah,
true,
there you
true,
go.
true,
Or a
true, true.
secondary weapon light bowgun as well. There are some
You're
things that I would like you to check for me, please.
gonna have to teach me how to play a light bowgun really
That I
fast.
could not check.
But you know, it is nice to be able to kind of save that time being in red spirit level to keep up your damage. But at the same time, this wasn't necessary to. It's like if the feature was never introduced to begin with, we never would have cried about it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
so-
also something else. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Like in Wilds, you can now perform the follow-up of the Handbreaker, even if you miss the Handbreaker. So, you know, you're
That's
not gonna have.
crazy.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
even if you miss the Handbreaker, you can
still have
still do
some
the
reach with
release
it.
slash. You know, so
Yeah.
it's not a big problem like it would be in Iceborne.
Yeah, that's why it's like, I mean, longsword already gets a lot of crap for being a highly accessible weapon, you know.
I mean,
think,
it is.
Yeah. So I think that anyway, I just feel like if that wasn't in there, it would help kind of balance out the weapon a little bit more, keep it a little bit more grounded and more in line with all the other weapons, because we already have so many tools to upkeep damage. We have round slash, we have EI spirit slash now to do damage in addition to building up spirit level. Same thing with the foresight slash. So I mean, was it necessary? I would say no, but because it's in the game, I mean, we might as well just use and abuse it.
But I have jumping on what you just said. We all have to take into account that we have been playing this game for a long time now. So for us, no, it's not necessary because it does not. I mean, we don't need it, and we don't need quality of life things anymore. I mean, we know how to play the game. I think it was pretty clear that Capcom with Monster Hunter Wilds was trying to make the franchise even more accessible than it was before to new players, because I cannot imagine how it is for someone who does not know anything about Monster Hunter to pick up Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Wilds. Imagine the whole amount of information that they have to read, go through, how to build a set, how to, I don't know, how to just
So
press
many
all the
videos
buttons.
that I'm going to make.
Yeah, but can you imagine the amount of knowledge that you have to inject in people's brains to be able just to do a casual quest in less than 40 minutes? I mean, just like, let's think straight here. So I think that's probably why, I mean, for me, it felt a bit weird because I was playing the game as if I was playing it for years. But I had to put myself in the shoes of someone that never played it and that's going to play it for the first time at Gamescom or play the build anywhere else in the world. I think they did a pretty amazing job at making Monster Hunter more accessible than maybe it was before. I don't know what you think about that, guys.
If
Yeah, I
you
mean-
let me add something to the topic of I'm not gonna speak specifically about the longsword, but the weapons in general, because I'm not sure if you're aware, but most of the weapons got some certain cancels. Like for example, the dual blades can cancel the dance, the long combo. You can cancel off of it, for example.
The demon dance, you mean?
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not necessarily a cancel. It's just the combo is now 3 inputs.
Yeah. The
Ah.
commitment on some weapons, for example, also not a cancel, but also that you can redirect the grid sword to a charge. You
With
can
focus mode, yeah.
yeah, you can
Mhm.
spam. Lance can also stop the triple poke to go into block. There are a lot of those details that I don't think they're mm, wrong to put them in the game, but we have to also think that it's kind of a power creep for the game. Like you are starting to make in chasing that accessibility, you are also making the hunter way too strong in that you can cancel or change the commitment of some on 13th attack, and that also means that they have to balance the monsters so they can fight the hunter. So I don't think it's wrong to add those things, but I'm a bit worried about what the monster will have to fight the hunters back.
See,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, for example, I had a very easy time with Ray Dow because the Lance felt a lot more mobile than before. I don't want to go too deep into it, but Lance got a lot of new things that allows him to both attack and dodge, both things that has never happened in the weapon before. So in that way, it's good because it's more accessible for people. But at the same time, I felt a bit strong in that way because the monster had to attack, and I could both attack and move. For example, or as you say, Longsword, you can now see the monster attack and cancel to save the resources, or the dual blades, instead of have that long commitment combo, can stop it and move away. So they have to tune up the monsters so it's challenging. And I'm a bit worried about that.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry, I interrupted
please.
you again.
No. Sorry.
The thing with me is as well is I am also a little bit worried about that. The one move that I noticed that you can cancel out of the gun lance, which is really weird, and I don't think that it is intentional. But like when you're doing the long reload where the gun lance folds in half and whatnot, you can kind of break the animation midway and go into a block, and it's really weird because it's like, oh, my gun lance is folded in half and reloading, and now I'm blocking. It's like,
Yeah,
this doesn't feel intentional, so I don't know if it is or if it's not. But the idea that you can basically cancel out of stuff also means that potentially monsters are going to be way more agile to compensate for the fact that you can cancel out of things as easily as you can. And making the monsters more agile is going to take us more down to the pacing that we had in Rise and Sunbreak, where if you think about, for instance, the more extremes versions of Volstrax, it's like, it's insane how fast it's like zoom, like you can barely keep up with the camera looking at where he is, let alone trying to block and deal with all the stuff that he's throwing at you at any given time. So I would also prefer things to remain more grounded, but them adding all of those cancels is a potential sign that they can be, monsters are going to be way faster than what we're expecting. I can assure you they're not all going to be like Chatacabra. That's just a poor little punching
God.
sitting there getting shredded.
And I think that's a thing too, right? Because like we have Chatacabra that's like a little bit of a slower monster, and that's like we all pummeled it. Like it's essentially our punching bag. I'm assuming with like everybody else, we want to set the expectation that like not all monsters are going to be like Chatacabra. Like we're not going to have a lot of slow monsters. We're going to have, like you mentioned, fast moving monsters that accommodate the new skills that we've been giving with each weapon and the differences and the new mechanics that were being granted in the game now. Granted, this is still the early build version of the game. Like there's obviously going to be changes along the way. They might change up a couple of things, like the gun lance cancels that you were talking about. Like that might have been unintentional and they're gonna take that out. Like who knows? I'm actually kind of curious. So when you're doing that cancel, did it still reload the gun lance, or did it just? Okay, that's actually wild.
Reloads the gun lance.
Yeah,
So
that doesn't.
it's really the thing is, it's not like reloading your gun lance, even with the long reload. It's not like it's a massive animation.
Yeah,
you were able to cancel out like almost half of that animation by just like spamming
That's
the
wild.
block button, and it goes like, now it's folded and I'm blocking and I'm fully reloaded. So
Okay, yeah,
felt
that
a
doesn't
little bit
seem
weird. Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It doesn't
Oh,
feel
damn.
intentional. Whereas I was wondering, and today I spoke with Paradise and 2-6 actually, and I was asking them about this longsword cancel because I didn't play the longsword, so I don't know exactly how it works. And I was wondering how they felt, if it was intentional or not. And it's like, no, there's actually a prompt to sheet your weapon.
Mhm.
I
Yep,
was like,
yep.
that's 1,000,000% intentional. There's even a prompt for you to sheet
Yeah.
your weapon. So yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So that cancel is definitely intentional. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of seeing how they're going to balance that out, if there's going to be any implications in terms of damage and all of that stuff, and how it's going to pan out in the long term. Or maybe it's even a test, because even though it's intentional for that build, it might be something that they think about it and later and they go like, actually, that was maybe a bit much, but we don't know at this point.
No,
Actually,
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, that actually makes me curious because like there are a lot of things that aren't like specifically stated in Monster Hunter that but are like extremely nuanced. So like for example, like in World Iceborne and even in Rise Sunbreak, when you're playing Charge Blade, if you're just like running right and the monster is about to hit you, you literally just tap your shield button from just sheath, and then in that instance you can guard point, right? But I don't think that's ever like specifically stated in the game, so it makes me wonder if that might have been a deliberate deliberate change to the gun lance.
It might have been, because they've also added a bunch of guard points to stuff. Like if you guys have seen the combo that I was talking about, the Wyvern Stake Full Blast, that has guard points built into it, whereas we didn't have those before. So quick reloads now have guard points, which is such a... We've been asking for that for so long. It's like, oh my God, quick reloads with guard points. Oh, I can't believe it. So, and not only it's a guard point, it can also do the perfect parry thing.
Oh, okay.
So just midway through your combo of doing like the Wyvern Stake Full Blast, you can block stuff, which felt very, very good. So yeah.
Recon speedruns when?
Nah, I don't.
When?
Hey, look,
Join
listen,
us.
listen,
Join us.
You want to know the speed run that I put the most effort in? It was my 14 minutes of doing Alatreon with Gunland. So it was my 14-minute run. It was the best time I ever did on him. And I really just wanted to get a kill where it's like, I want to kill where I don't cart. Because I could kill him, but I would usually cart a couple of times. And I was like, no, I want to get like the perfect kill where I don't cart. And I spent 13 hours on that run. So, you know, that was my speed run. 14 minutes.
But that's good.
I mean,
you know,
that's a
Is it-
start.
you gotta start somewhere.
It's a
I
start.
mean,
Trail?
yeah.
I don't think it is. Isn't it
No,
like 5
hey,
minutes
no,
or something that most weapons are doing?
You think that we do like sub 2 speedruns like first try? No, we
Yeah.
all start somewhere and we
Yeah,
all
but it's
have
like-
like plus 10 minutes every time.
The thing is, I don't like the idea of the resetting. Like I
Mm.
know that
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's something else.
That's yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like I didn't even reset those. I would still kill them. Like I would fail the run that I wanted to do, and I would still kill them, and then go again and again and again and again and again, because I just wanted to do it with the gun lance. And you could definitely tell that there wasn't a monster that it wasn't really all that thought out for gun lance. But I was like, you could still do it. 100% you can do it. And Jay Can actually did it recently as well. He did a gun lance kill on Eltran, which was really cool.
Mhm.
Nice.
So yeah, I just hope Wilds monsters are gonna be able to keep up with the hunter.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's a very important thing. They will need to implement, especially in the end game, because I
Yeah.
would like to have challenges in the end game.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
once you
Yeah,
beat the game, the
absolutely.
story, I would like to have a challenge where I can, challenge myself and the monster not being just destroyed. So
That's-
that's something
yeah.
I really
Yeah.
hope. Like maybe they can make afflicted or like tempered monsters, which are gonna be much more responsive. Maybe they can have different attacks combo. So the difficulty will be higher.
I made a poll recently because I was trying to figure out the concerns that everybody had, and difficulty is like number 2 and it's only surpassed by performance because people are still reeling from Dragon's Dogma 2, and they looked at the demo and it's like, I don't think that the build that we played is a good place to start looking at performance because
No.
it's
Oh,
a super early build, very
Yeah.
unstable. We saw it crash on stage, which, by the way, shout out to the development team for just being like, yep, we're going to play this live on the stage, an actual playthrough. It's not scripted. Things are going to go crazy. Ryozo's going to go fishing at some point. Like, shout out to the devs for that. But yeah, that build is not, which is why that build is not a demo, because obviously
Exactly.
near
Exactly.
ready for public consumption. But yeah, the second biggest concern that people had was most definitely the difficulty, because I think everybody is still reeling a little bit from Rise Village, which is like, I mean, come on. bro.
It was story mode.
Yeah, it was story mode, but
It was
I
story
feel
mode.
like
My Little Baby's
should
Monster
still-
Hunter.
you should still have to be challenged, because like, look, the
Yeah.
reason I stuck with Monster Hunter wasn't because like I went into a Monster Hunter game and I was just able to destroy everything. It was specifically because when I would get into those hunts, the very first time that you're actually hunting on like an old school Monster Hunter, you're scared of the monster. It's not a
Mhm.
joke. Like, you're going,
Yeah.
again, I'm not talking about experienced hunters. Experienced hunters will go in there and it's like, oh, I don't care. It's whatever. It's super easy to kill. What, a Rathian? I don't care. First time you face off against a Rathian in an old
Yeah,
school
it's scary.
monster, it's scary.
Oh yeah.
It's
Mhm.
super
Pretty-
scary.
This
Very
monster's
scary.
gonna wreck me. She
Yeah.
poisoned me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to deal with poison. How long does this last? I'm gonna die.
She
from being
fly.
poisoned. You're like running everywhere, picking up my. Can I eat this mushroom? Will that kill it? Like, it's like you used to be scared of them, and I kind of feel like in Rise, even brand new players, they wouldn't have been scared of the monsters because it was
Mhm.
just like, it was a joke. So that, yeah, people are concerned about the difficulty.
But I think to jump on what you all said, the monster that made me a bit less scared about the difficulty was when we tried to face Raidao. I really enjoyed the fight against Raidao. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate right now because I picked Lightbogan against it, and I felt that I was not being punished enough for my mistakes. So I hope that this will change in the near future, because I was kind of expecting light bowgunners and heavy bowgunners to kind of go from a different direction from Monster Hunter World Iceborne and Rise, where I felt kind of safe every time. Like, I would not get one shot like in the previous old gen titles, which is something that I miss personally, because the thrill of playing, yeah, Shin, I don't know if you agree with me, but maybe for us, the thrill of playing bowguns is actually to know that one attack, you miss a dodge, or you reload at the wrong time, or you position yourself in the wrong way.
You will
Basta,
go
you're done.
into
Bye.
the rank and you will
No?
get one shot by everything.
Yeah, I miss that. I really do miss that.
It was, yes, I miss it a lot.
And
You're so
unfortunately, on Wilds, I don't think how you feel about it, but I think we're still going in the World Iceborne direction, which is making me a bit sad, because it feels so strange to say that I want to be more scared when I'm playing my weapon, right? But that's genuinely what the kind of experience that I want.
Yeah, I want to be scared of the monster. I want to be scared. I want, when I see, because right now, if I was to go into World and I see a Rathian, I'm not scared and beat the crap out of her. It's going to be one of the easiest things ever. I don't think there's a lot of things that would scare anyone here right now in World Ice, except potentially like Fatalis and Alatreon. I guess those can be a little bit scary. But apart from that, there's not really that many things that you're going to go in there and it's like, oh, okay, got to be careful with this one. This one's actually kind of scary.
Arch-Temper Namiel.
Yeah, I was about to bring up. There's also like Velkana. Yeah, she'll beat me up real bad. But like, besides those exceptions, right? You're gonna go in there and it's like, say you're fighting Glavenus. You're not gonna be scared of Glavenus. It's not that big a deal.
No.
Or even acidic Glavenus or any of that things. And I feel like that is one of the things that we need to get back. We need to get.
But how do you
fear
manage
God.
to find the balance then as a developer, Rurikan? Because once again, we're saying this as people who know the game. You don't think
Yeah.
that new players will not be scared of Doshaguma or Raidao or Chatakabra? Okay, no, but
Shatacabra, no, they're
you,
nobody.
you have to. I think we
I don't
have
know what
to-
you
we have
mean.
to-
I don't know, man. Have you seen him?
I mean, No, it's cute. Okay, it's just cute, but it's like I really wonder that was the question that I asked myself
There
when I
is-
came back. It's very tempting for us to say, yeah, it's easy and the monsters aren't scary, but because we know what we're doing. Have you seen the people play the builds
Yes.
around us?
Yes, yes.
They were struggling, most
lot.
of them, right?
So there's actually a system that I think is going to help us there. I don't know if you guys looked into that yet, but there's something where monsters in the field are going to have varying levels of strength. They have like a
Oh,
star
yeah.
system associated with it.
Mm.
There's even a monster forecast where you can actually see how long the monster's in the locale and how strong it actually is. And based on the strength of the monster, it is also going to give us additional rewards. And that is a system that I hope is going to help us, so that way, like if you're a newer player, at that point, you don't, as a developer, you don't really have the excuse, well, we can't make the strong monsters too strong so that the casual players can't fight them. It's more like, well, the casual players can fight the weaker version of that monster, which is like the 1-star version or whatever, and they can grind it out that way if they don't want to be having to deal with the stress of fighting the stronger version. But I hope that when it comes to the stronger versions, they will make us fear those versions again. Like, I would wish that, let's say, even in the early monsters, because I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but like, let's say you're fighting a Doshiguma. If it's a 3-star Doshiguma, I want that Doshiguma to beat me the hell up. I want every time that he touches me, I want to feel it, right? I want to like, oh crap, he friggin' hit me with that swipe. That thing friggin' hurts. Like, I want that Doshiguma to hit like, those Apex or Zeros and Hazard quests that we got at the tail end of Rise. That's what I want to feel, right? The Doshiguma to hit like that or Zeros that would stun you in one hit, then slap you, send you flying. That's what I want for those monsters. But again, this would be like the level 3-star monsters, which, if you're a casual, if you're somebody who's starting out, you can avoid those and you can go hunt the easier versions of them so that you don't have to stress out about it.
So I do want to go off of that actually, because that's a system that I recognized right away, and I think I told Knight about this, but that's a system that's implemented in Monster Hunter Now, the
Yeah.
mobile game.
It's exactly
So,
that. Yeah.
so it is exactly that. You get to see the difficulty level of a monster, the 1, 2, 3. I think it goes up to 4 yellow or 5 yellow stars, and then for the
purple.
6-star, it's a purple. Yeah, it goes 6, 7, 8. So that's a system that's in Monster Hunter Now. I really like that system because it does exactly that. It lets you know as a player, hey, how difficult is this monster going to be? And there's different, like, it's not just one monster's only set to 1 through whatever. All monsters can be purple star or 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, whatever. And I really like that because as not only as an experienced player, but also as a new player, it gives you insight on like exactly what you're saying. How difficult is this monster going to be? Am I going to have a hard time fighting this? Okay, let me start off with the first like 1-star version of it, and then let me build up that way.
Yeah.
And it's really neat because it was something that like blew my mind, because when I saw that, I was like, that's Monster Hunter Now. Like they literally took a concept from Monster Hunter Now and threw it into Wilds, and I wasn't expecting that. Like, because it helps answer. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. How much of a difference is it, like in terms of like from 1-star to 3 stars? Because I don't really play Monster Hunter Now.
So in my experience, the 1 through 3, 4 stars are pretty. It's pretty like I would say easy mode, if I'm gonna like put it that way. That's 1 to like maybe I would say 1 to maybe 3 stars easy mode. 4 to 5 is maybe medium, and then once you start going to 6-star, which is like a purple icon, it starts ramping it up even more so because they start doing more damage. So in Monster Hunter, in the mobile game, their movesets are pretty similar. Like they always have the same movesets over and over. Like you could easily tell what's going to be coming up next. In my experience, I don't know, Shin, if you have a similar experience with the game as well. Yeah.
People played a lot.
Oh, okay. So you understand. But yeah, like it's not a. There's a little bit of a gap, like a gap in like difficulty for some of them. But like I said, like this literally answers the question of like how are new players gonna adapt to these monsters that we've experienced before. It's literally looking at that system, literally using the resources that's available to us in the game to be able to like, oh well, this Shadowcopter is a 1-star. All right, let's see how this goes. And then for new players, they're probably gonna get their asses handed to them. But for us, we're gonna be like, okay, what's next? But like I think it's a really neat feature that really helps out especially newer people to the game, because that way they'll be able to adjust accordingly and like understand, okay, maybe I'm not ready for 4-star Shadowcopper yet.
Also,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I don't think they will take that route, but in Monster Hunter now, the more stars the monster have until a limit, and the more wide the moveset it is. Like going from low rank to high rank to G rank, they start getting a more broad moveset in Monster Hunter now. I don't think it will be the case with Wilds because they usually do that from ranks instead of stars. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be just like stats, like at more HP, more damage. I think that's the only thing that is gonna change in Wilds with the stars. Go ahead, Pepo.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to say the same. I think they should not just increase the stats, the HP, and the damage the monster deal, but also like giving them new attack combo, maybe more speed and increased speed, so they are actually more challenging, not just artificially by just giving them double the HP or double the damage. That would be just a boring way to make them difficult.
So if I can go a bit back into what Nick said, I know that probably all of you gonna hate me.
No.
We would never do that.
I mean, you are Spanish, so that's a good start.
Oh my god, he did it again! Look at
Jeez.
For all the Spanish people that are watching, we love you, okay?
Except for Rurikon, he doesn't love you guys.
Only this guy doesn't.
Don't
Okay?
listen to this guy.
I'm joking. Look, people take me way too seriously. It's getting harder and harder for me to joke about things. Everybody thinks that I legitimately hate longsword. Everybody, everybody's gonna start thinking that I hate Spanish people. It is like I don't. I really don't.
So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it right now.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Whole thing.
Right, you told me. Tell us why.
Okay. I think the radar from the build we played is not the real radar. Why? He had like, I think we can count with the fingers the amount of attacks he had, like 7 maybe? I don't think he had more than 7. Even the low rank monsters from, I don't know, Grijagras, Puke, Kurujaku had a more broad moveset than Raidao. And Raidao, it's supposed to be the apex of the map. But it has like the bite move, the tile sweep, the lightning attack, the back flick attack, and the spin move. Of course, also when he's enraged, he does the big thap. But it's like 7 attacks from a monster that it's really, really slow. That it's like he telegraphed the attacks way too much for my taste. They look cool. Okay, the monster design itself is amazing. I like it a lot. The animations from the attack are also a lot of cool, but the combat itself, it feels like, I don't know, I really didn't have any issue with him. The only issue I had is because you have a very low armor and you probably get one-shotted in certain attacks. But if you think when you play the full game, if that's what Raidout's gonna be, it's gonna be really, really easy and simple.
Underwhelming, yeah.
Underwhelming,
That's the
exactly.
word,
Yeah.
underwhelming. So I really hope that it's because they limited the moveset for the build we played, because otherwise it didn't feel like Apex, you know.
Mm.
I seriously think it's like 7 moves. If you think about it, it's really, really low.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that-
actually,
7
also,
moves. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
Pepe,
also the
go.
feeling that they maybe nerfed it in
Yeah.
that build, because yeah, it's an Apex monster and his moveset was really predictable. That's the feeling I had.
Well, yet a lot of like people died in front of Raidao. It did not prevent them from carding, right? Like honestly.
because
Yeah,
you get one shot. I mean, you have a lot of low armor, so yeah, you can get killed. Even
yeah, but the
one
thing is,
mistake.
yeah, the thing is that he had that one-shot attack in Rage, the Thunder attack.
Yeah.
That was one-shotting.
The one when you're under him?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go under him.
Yeah, so I actually carded once against the Raidao because I thought that when he was casting that attack, you could go under him and be safe. But actually, it's not true because he can cast that attack under him, like on his feet, and you're gonna card. And yeah, so probably
yeah, that was funny.
yeah, probably people were carding most likely before of that one-shot attack, but all the other attacks were really easy to predict and avoid.
With Lightbowgun. Oh, sorry, Shin, go ahead.
If I can tell something that I think was funny, when I went into the multiplayer demo, my 3 teammates went for the Doshagamo. So I directly went around the map waiting for...
To fight Raidao?
Yeah, I went directly for Raidao. And
wow, bro, you left all your teammates in front of Doshaguma and you were just like, I'm gonna go for Raidao. Sorry, guys.
That's the theme.
I have priorities.
The staff came and
Sucks
told
to
me,
be them.
you know your teammates are not there, right? And I was like, yeah, I know.
Don't worry.
That's a them
I know
problem.
how to play this game.
You're fighting alone. And I was like, yeah.
I know what I'm about.
At some point, someone of our this is the funny part. One teammate, like I don't know if the Doshagamo move or whatever, but he came to watch me fight the Raidao, and Raidao watched him, did the lightning attack, and one-shotted him.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, he's here.
Wow.
Poor guy.
What are you looking at? No. Deleted.
But
Wow.
That's the story. You can continue, Nix.
No. I was just remembering funny moments from that fight because I mean I was using Lightbowgun for this fight and I agree with you that the moveset felt a bit limited to the point where basically I don't know, you did not play Lightbowgun, right, in front of him?
Me? I did a bit.
Yeah. You did a bit.
Yes.
I was very, very surprised because I did not expect. I mean, I expected me to just get one shot by almost everything, because as we all noticed, our armor was extremely low, and even the Capcom CMs that were on the site on this day, when we're discussing Raidao, they were like, "No, you're not equipped to fight it, but if you want, you can try." So I was expecting something that was going to be way more punishing, but with Lightbowgun, every time I got hit like 3 times, and I got left around 10% of my HP, which is a lot, in my opinion. And surprisingly,
giving that armor was a lot, definitely.
Right, it was very surprising, and also I noticed that every attack that he was doing, I was playing like a Giga Chad. I was like really in front of his head the whole time as usual, and I was just like trying my luck to see when I will die or not. It never killed me, and that's when I agree that for me what shocked me is the amount of new moves that I was being given as a Lightbowgunner were really clashing the lack of movesets that was being given to the monster in front of me. So that's why I'm also a bit, are monsters going to follow us?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because we're being given so many new tools, so many new quality of life things. but I did not feel that the monsters were so much of a challenge until now.
think-
That may change, of course.
I think it's important to mention that usually a lot of show floor demos will end up being a little bit easier so
Yeah.
that everybody can have like a relatively easier time. So I don't know how much they would have scaled that Ray Dow to be overpowering or not, because in a way, if you think about it, you want people to be able to see Ray Dow.
To see, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want you to fight him, but they want you to see him and to kind of like sense his presence. So they potentially don't want Ray Dow to just walk around brothel stomping everybody.
And just one shot you when you're fighting the
Just like,
Shaku, like, whoa, hey!
goes up to a person that spends 10 hours in queue, carts him 3 times.
Yeah,
It's like,
imagine.
get out!
Yeah.
I
Ray
found the
Dow, end
apex,
your
guys.
streak real fast. So it's like they probably nerfed it a little bit, especially with if they were expecting queues that long. So that wouldn't have surprised me. I expect the game to be harder than the version that we played, but again,
Yeah,
I don't
same.
actually know if that'll be the case or not.
Yeah.
Fun fact: you can triple card in the demo and still keep playing.
Really?
Oh, okay.
It doesn't fail the quest. Yeah,
Yeah,
How do you know that?
because my teammate. made it.
Oh,
Guess what?
okay.
Self-report. How do you know this?
Yeah, I was like, how do you know that?
yeah. I was surprised too.
Yeah, but I was wondering. I was wondering like if the HP of the monster would change when you start again hunting game after the quests ended, failed, basically. Like, is he gonna
Oh, yeah,
recover some
yeah.
HP, or is like the HP is gonna be the same
I think
before you fail the quest?
In our case, I think he had the same amount of HP. It's just that since he went into his nest, like as usual, he regained a little bit of his HP because he was sleeping or something.
I think
But I don't think this
I don't
change
know.
didn't it?
I think that if you triple cart, he should eat you and recover his full health.
Oh, that's a good suggestion.
Just straight up eats the hunter and you
That's
recover
good.
your full health.
That's RP.
Wait, so how do you get
Permadeath
back
Monster
in?
Hunter.
Like, hey, listen, did you guys not know the greatest Jagras can actually straight up eat you? And there's no, at least from what I can remember, there's no like death animation anymore. He just ate you and you're
He
gone.
eats you?
Yeah, the greatest
I
Jagras.
did not know that.
As
As
a,
the event
as a matter
quest.
of fact, that happened in one of my lobbies, and for some strange reason, everybody that got gems that on that particular run, they all got fantastic gems. Like, you're talking people were getting attack ups and all of the critical boosts, all of the really rare gems, and I was like, yeah. He ate me, and you guys got like all the best.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise.
Weird.
Sacrificial
thanks to you.
offering.
He just kind of like swallows you, and then you show up at camp again. From what I can remember, it was pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Somebody
I
had
did
to
not know that.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice me. It's fine.
On the altar of good gems and decorations
Yeah,
for the team.
exactly.
Hurricane. I wanted to mention something, and then I forgot. So if anyone has a good topic to continue the conversation with, go ahead, and I will just
How do
track
you
back my
guys-
chain of thought.
How do you guys feel about the support NPCs and the implications that they can potentially have on the motivation to do multiplayer stuff? Because that's one of the things I feel we need to address a little bit as a community. Because if you think about it, right, when even in World and Rise Sunbreak, especially Rise Sunbreak, I barely played co-op at all because it felt
Mhm.
like if you're playing co-op, these monsters are just getting a beatdown. And as a streamer, it's like it's not really a spectacle if it's just 4 people just wailing on a monster that's barely being able to move or do anything, right? And if you think about it, for instance, in terms of GU, in GU, when you were doing G rank, it would feel like a necessity almost, at least on my skill level, because I've always said I'm not the best player or anything like that. So it's like on my skill level, it almost felt like, especially as a Gunlance player in GU, you know, if you know, you know, the
Yeah.
heat gauge, shelling not scaling for G rank. Oh, it's so good, man. That shelling damage in G rank is the best. But like, you're in G rank and GU, and it almost felt like a necessity for you to play in multiplayer. So I would usually get like, you know, 2 friends with me, and that would feel good. Whereas if you go World Iceborne, sometimes it could still be a little bit challenging with 4 players, but like Rise Break, you get 4 players in there, and the monster is just like, please don't stop, don't hurt me anymore. It's like belly up, just like taking a pounding, not being able to do anything for his life. And I kind of, what do you guys think about with the support hunters, if people are going to even feel the need to play multiplayer?
Okay, I'm gonna talk first if you guys don't mind.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Go
go for
ahead.
it.
Go
Go
for it.
ahead.
So this is like a big, deep problem or root that has been happening, like you say, since war. I actually did like recently a video about it. I think the biggest issue is that now at the time back then I thought it was good, but now I think it's not that good. The scaling of the quest has changed because that now, depending on the hunters, on the amount of hunters, the monster scales go back or towards or higher. So if you go solo, the monster has less HP, blah 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 blah. Like you say in GU, that didn't happen. The monster had fixed HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means that you can go solo.
Yeah. But then it will be harder.
Yeah,
And you need your friends to help you.
Exactly. If you call people, you are like contributing towards the same HP.
Yeah.
Now it's the other way around. If you go solo and call for people, maybe it's even detrimental. Not only because it scales in that weird way, but also because, as you say, it gets a bit bloated in the hunt, and the monsters at some point cannot understand that much people. So, in one hand, that already makes the social experience, like you said, a bit harder. Now it's also not from the streamer point, but from the general social point. You don't have really any what is the word? Any
Interaction.
to call people to, because it even has the ASOS. What's
SOS?
SOS player.
SOS,
Yeah.
So people just came inside the quest, go hunt the monster, because it's already in the quest. So nobody talks, nobody say anything. They just go to the hunt, kill the monster, and you can be sure that you won't see them again because they will go away. They will go after
You're
20
afraid that
seconds.
we lose the social experience of Monster Hunter in the near future?
Yeah, he made a really nice video about that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Really nice video.
So
Go watch the video, guys.
when you mix that, and also, like you say, they are the followers one, then you start to think, why would I call NPCs that can kill the monster so easily when I can simply call other NPCs that maybe talk even more than the real people, and the hunt can be even more interesting, Not sure if I'm expressing my point correctly, but I really think that the mix of everything makes that the game is losing their social point. Like, you can still feel it because you can stream, you can make some Discord groups.
Yeah.
But at some point, one side is starting to disappear slowly, and the other side is maybe growing in size.
See, that's where you get back to the social aspects of, for instance, GU, which was actually phenomenal because you had those lobbies that people would make where it'd be like you would take turns. So it's like, okay, now it's my quest, and we're gonna have a farm for me, and then you do a turn for somebody else. Now it's your turn. What do you want to farm? And you would be taking turns for everyone.
Please do my urgents.
Yeah, and so that stuff is. I feel like it hasn't happened nearly as much. I feel like for World and Iceborne, particularly for more casual players, that probably has happened. But I feel like as the player skill level starts to increase, eventually people no longer feel that need. And I feel like that is also one of the aspects, because at least I have a lot of comments in my community where people are just like, I don't want to play with other people, so followers are great. And it's like, yeah, I understand, but they also have a downside to them, which is there's not as much motivation to play with friends or even to meet new people. This is one of the things where World excelled at with events like Kol Taroth, events like Safi Jiva. Like I was organizing those lobbies in my channel, Safi Jiva, Alatreon, Fatalis, because I was like, I want everybody to get as many clears as possible. So you can actually, those streams are still on my channel, like 6 hours long stream of me like, I'm done with this, but I'm going to be hunting it for 6 hours to make sure that as many people as possible get it, right? But those really brought back that social aspect, and it's just, I almost feel like there needs to be something in the game that is that motivates people to play the game, to give you a reason where it's like, this is why you should team up with other players. And like I said, in GU, you would do it out of necessity because, you know, not a lot of players, especially if you're talking like casual level, not a lot of players are going to be able to do G rank hunts by themselves.
Yeah.
I even timed out some G rank hunts. Like there was one with 2 hyper brachydios that I was trying to farm alone with a gun
these
lance.
were nasty. These things were nasty.
I timed out
remember
those
it.
50 minutes and I wasn't able to kill them both. And I was like, God damn it, this sucks.
That's rough.
But yeah, like, you know, there was a reason for you to bring your friends. And even if you brought friends in G rank GU, it's not like the monster was sitting on the ground just taking a beating.
Yeah.
Right? It was still fighting back. It would still like kick your asses if you weren't paying attention. And that is one of the issues that I feel we have with more modern monster hunters, where you get 4 hunters in a room, there are very few monsters that are going to be a challenge. Like maybe if you're talking some of the highest anomaly rankings or stuff like that, or like I said, you know, Alatreon, Safi Jiva, those types of level of monsters, the arch-tempered monsters like you were bringing up. Like, yeah, the very extreme cases, yes. But, you know, the lower stuff, not at all. And a lot of times it's even more efficient. Like, we don't even know if companions are going to scale the monsters, which is something that I'm questioning, because I'm like, I mean, if I'm going to be able to just call in 3 hunters and that has no effect on the monster's HP, like that's a beatdown. That's just it's not even remotely fair at that point.
Yeah, like at that point, why would you even play with others?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
if you can farm everything for free.
But I think that's like the thing that's kind of still unknown to us, right? Like how is the scaling with bringing in those NPCs or what have you is going to be affecting that. I will say though, like my personal experience with Monster Hunter, because I got into Monster, I'm going to give a little bit of backstory and then kind of get to my point. But I got into Monster Hunter because a friend of mine told me about Monster Hunter. He's like, hey, this is a really fun game. I got introduced to it back on 3U. And so I remember just literally going over to somebody's house with my 3DS, all of us hanging out at the table, hunting and doing the same thing. Like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Stuff like that. So it really built that socializing. Yeah. The good old times. And then moving into, world with more open lobby, like a 16-player lobby. At first it was a little difficult, right? Because we're all, you know, everybody has their own level of socializing and interacting with other people, especially strangers online. You know, even me to this day, like there are days where I'm like, I don't know you, I don't know like how well we're gonna mesh playing online, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, we're gonna hunt, we're gonna do this. And so I think the biggest thing with like I think what having the hunter helpers kind of helps with those people that don't usually play with other people. Like there's a lot of people in the community as well that they'll be like, oh, I've been playing the game, you know, so like for this much, but like I've only been doing the campaign, the story missions, and now I'm going into the bigger lobbies, but I don't know like who to play with and stuff like that. And then, you know, for me, I'm really big on like helping other people like hunting certain monsters. It's like the big 3 are like Eladrin, Fatalis, and Temper Teostra, you know. But I think it's all about setting up an environment for people to be able to come in, feel comfortable, to be able to play the game with others and stuff like that. So I think what and especially now with Wilds having crossplay, which we've all been begging for, we're all really wanting it. And so I think I know I'm so like when they said crossplay, I know everybody was at the same time, especially for Gamescom, we heard the word crossplay and we're like, say again. And so I think crossplay is also gonna help that with too, because there's a lot of times that people on PlayStation are like, man, I want to play with you, but you're on PC, I'm on PlayStation, and so on and so forth. But to kind of bring it all together, yeah, the NPCs can be a bad thing, but I think they could also be a good thing to help people kind of get used to hunting with other people, because that's also another thing we have to consider, right? Because you could be playing Monster Hunter solo, from here to eternity, but there's a big difference of when you're playing with other people as well, and I think the NPCs can kind of help with that. Granted, again, we don't know what the scaling is going to be when you introduce the NPCs, but I think it would really help, one, kind of familiarize yourself with group hunts, and two, also introduce I could play this game with other people. Let me try to play with others that I find online, other, big content creators or content creators that are playing the game currently, which I know we're all going to be doing, and kind of just help build that up as well. Like, hey, like, for those of you that haven't played in an open lobby before, if you're like, this is your first time playing Monster Hunter, just hang out in the lobby, join a couple hunts, and get a feel of it, and then kind of go from there. But that's kind of like where my stance is on it,
Someone in the chat mentioned something that I found very interesting. Since we have crossplay available, do you think we're going to have region locks?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I hope not, because if they put in region locks, that's gonna friggin' suck.
yeah.
Rise,
Yeah.
Rise and Sunbreak had region
Yeah.
lock.
Didn't World have region locks as well initially? I forget.
I don't know. Not sure. I don't think so.
I do know that Rise and Sunbreak definitely had like some weird locks, and I think that people got around that by setting their Steam region to Japan or something like that. Everybody was playing in Japan.
The download region. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we found a way around it.
Yeah, let's just hope that they don't do it again. We really want to have region locks, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good point, right? Like, why introduce crossplay but then still have it region lock? Like,
yeah, it will be
it can be something that can still happen. You don't know, honestly.
We're going to let you play on any platform,
but not from everywhere.
Yeah.
I think adding to the subject of love socialization, I think one question that I'm particularly interested in finding the answer to is how are the lobbies going to be set up? Is it more going to be more like you going into a 4-player instance and then that's your open sandbox, or is it going to be like there's going to be a gathering hall where you can sit and chill with 16 other people or 15 other people, just like how we could in World and Iceborne? Because a lot of people loved the way that social interactions worked with World and Iceborne, especially just being in a lobby with a bunch of other people dancing, emoting, freaking spamming the agree emote while also running so that you just run like your T-posing and stuff like that. Small things like that. Plus like the seasonal lobbies and stuff too, like made it really cool. So it motivated people to kind of like socialize with others. Yeah. Especially since like the landscape nowadays is that, I mean, information and communication is just so damn instant. It's so easy now compared to like when we all played on like, people playing as far back as like, Freedom 2 or even like the OG Monster Hunters, where it was a lot harder to actually communicate with people or even get multiplayer hunts going in. Going back on that, I really do hope that the multiplayer scaling or like the hunts in multiplayer actually feel like a necessity too, because I come from a background of playing Freedom 2. So when you went into like the gathering hall or the guild quests and stuff like that, they actually hurt no matter what, right? And they were fun. They were difficult, I remember going into a T-Rex. It was fun. Yeah, exactly. I remember going into like a T-Rex hunt and getting roared at point blank and just eating it,
You're like, yay, Monster Hunter.
Yeah. But like,
well, that's kind of like how, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish.
But that's like one of the things that made playing Monster Hunter really fun for me. Is like, okay, this is a hunt that I can't do by myself. So being able to play with other people to actually be able to accomplish this, it felt nice, and it actually felt like multiplayer served like a very huge purpose, even if it was just one extra set of hands to help with the hunt. Whereas like nowadays, it's like, and it's harder to kind of comment, especially since a majority of us, especially in this call, or all of us in this call, we come from an area of experience, right? We have a lot stronger foundation compared to maybe a good chunk of players out there, especially for the people that are going to be getting their feet wet with Monster Hunter. So I mean, if especially if there's like solo and multiplayer scaling, I feel like, at least for me personally speaking, it's like I'd rather just do the hunt solos, because like, you know, why would I want to play with other people, especially if you know they're gonna eat a freaking, you know, a tail slam that's like heavily choreographed, and I can dodge that very easily, but they can't, you know what I mean? So I feel, I don't know, like this is something that I've always kind of been at war with myself, because I very much do miss the scaling of, you know, just there being no scaling. It's like guild quests are intrinsically much more difficult. They should be more difficult as opposed to like village quests, right? But I mean, I guess we'll just have to see what happens once the game comes out. But I mean, at least in terms of like social aspects, I want to know if it's going to be 16-player lobbies or if it's going to be 4-player lobbies again.
Actually,
So kind of, go for it.
You brought up a really good point, which is with now that we have access to support hunters, what's to stop them from just not having scaling?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's like, what? Do you want more? Fire the SOS flare. You can do it solo too, and the scaling is there. And then it's like, that would actually be really cool. I never even thought about that.
So I wonder, because there's a thing, I'm gonna talk about Monster Hunter now, mobile. Because there's a thing where you can choose what level monsters you can hunt for one specific monster type. There's a feature in there now. So you have to hunt like you have to fill up the gauge, like it's like investigation points almost. So you get, let's say you want to hunt like a 6-star Rathalos or whatever, but you have to hunt like 3 monsters to get to hunt to that monster, and then you can decide to play with other people using the QR code to play with them. So I wonder if they're going to introduce something like that, where now you get to choose the difficulty rating of the monster and then hunt it that way. Because that could also be a thing that, like, if they're already implementing some stuff for, and this is me speculating, but they're already implementing stuff for Monster Hunter now in the level ranking, I wonder if they could also bring that too as well, to kind of answer the question of like how we're going to make this game more difficult, right? Like how we're going to adjust the difficulty of certain monsters within open lobby hunts as well. Like you get to post a quest, but then you are like, oh, well, I don't want to fight a 3-star Shadowcabra. I want to fight a 6-star instead, kind of thing, you know? Yeah, I don't know what y'all think. And like, it could be a thing. I would hope it. It would be really cool if it was a thing.
Yeah, there's also, not sure if you remember, there's also the Huntatons.
Yes, correct.
So
yeah,
there could be the normal quest and the non-scaling quest. That is the Huntaton version of Wilds. Maybe they can have both systems, you know, the one with the scaling and some special quests on some special like events that have the fixed HP and everything. Maybe that will be maybe a good solution. I don't know.
Well, is what they did in Word with Behemoth and Ancient Lash.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool because players couldn't beat them in solo, so they were actually actively
requesting players to play
looking for
multiplayer.
Players, you know.
So
that was a nice incentive.
Yeah, it would be really cool to have.
Yeah, it's good. I almost forgot about that too.
But a lot of players are actually requesting quests like Behemoth to come back, because it was indeed very interesting to have at least like something like this. Of course, not all the quests, but I think players genuinely enjoy it.
I think having the option to do so is great, right? Giving a player an option to be able to choose difficulty and stuff like that really helps us out, because at least that way we don't feel like we're just gonna steamroll through certain hunts anymore, right? Like we could rank up the difficulty depending on what we find or what we want to do, or do what Monster Hunter now does, where the higher difficulty of the monster, and like how we do now, the higher difficulty you want to choose to hunt is the only way to get certain parts, right? Just similar in like Iceborne and stuff, or like going from low rank to high rank, but now you get to choose, okay, well now I need this very rare plate drop that I can have almost a 10% chance in a 7-star quest kind of thing. Would be really cool. Yeah.
To continue, sorry, Shin, you want to add something?
I was about one question they did in the chat. Do you keep your cats in wild if you have more than two hunters in Rise? Like in Rise? Like you
I
keep
think
a companion. I don't
During
remember.
the trailers, the cats were there, on
Yeah.
top of the
I mean, I know
the other hunters. No.
I know you have your bird. I'm sure of
Yeah.
it. But I don't remember. Maybe Rurikan can answer it. Rurikan. yeah.
He just
That's
for
right.
him, you just put him on the
Just came
spot. He
back.
literally just dropped here. Shin. Then he's gonna rant about
mean,
that's
Spanish
like,
people
you know-
again.
You know
Damn.
when
Adding to
you
the
know
list.
when there's the teachers and like the teacher knows you're not paying attention.
It's like,
Literally
no
just
way.
goes right after you. Yes, you, Mr. Rurkan, on the second row. Yes, you, exactly. I want you to give me a full dissertation on this very specific topic we were just talking about.
That you clearly were paying attention for and was here for.
Yes. No, but what? Can you just give me like
Yeah,
a brief
When
rundown?
you're playing with multiplayer, like more than two players, like 400. Do you keep your Palico in the quest?
If you have 4 hunters, if you keep your Palico in the thing, no, you don't.
Ah, okay. See,
Because like when I was in that session with the 4 players, I didn't have a Palico. As a matter of fact, it was interesting because when I was doing the live stream, I even mentioned, oh, there's a Palico. I didn't get to see him the first time I played the game.
Crazy.
Look at him healing me and putting traps down. Ah, that's so nice. But yeah, if you're 4 players, there's no Palicos.
yeah, just keep
But there is sacrets, so everybody
yeah.
still gets
Yeah.
a sacred. Yeah.
Which, adding onto that, I believe the secrets were a really nice add-on to Wilds right now, because like you get the extra one. We obviously get the second weapon now, so that's cool. But 2, it also gave us a bigger pouch to run along with as well. It kind of reminded me of Frontier with your Palico's pouch that was included in that as well. That was like an extra spot for you to hold items and like extra heals, extra traps, and stuff like that. So the fact that now we're having that in with Wilds with
And
the
did you-
secret is really cool.
Did you guys see the deliverables? How they work?
I didn't.
Mhm.
No.
No.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is an amazing feature that they've added. So you guys know how in the older games you would get even in the new ones, you get like supplies midway through the hunt, right?
sure.
Mhm.
So now you also get supplies through the hunt. But this is one of those things where I'm not 100% sure if this is how this works or if it just happened that way in my recording. But so the way that it works now, just like from a mechanical standpoint, is you get supplies midway through a hunt, and what happens is they just show up on your sacred. So you go to the sacred, and you know how you press right on D-pad, and that changes your weapon. If you press left, it opens up your sacred inventory, and the supplies will be there, and you can just transfer those to your bag, and you get to go. So that's how
wow.
it works with supplies now. Now the thing is, the justification for that is that, you know how Alma, she's actually in the field. She's not like the handler. The handler was like all the way back at camp.
Mhm.
Alma
Yeah.
is actually in the field the whole time. If you
Yeah.
actually pay attention, you'll see her on the sacred, like in the
Yeah.
distance, always
Running.
hovering around. Yeah. And if you
Mhm.
sit down to like do a BBQ, she'll come down and sit next to you and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So what I noticed in my recording was that I was fighting Chatacabra with the lance and, you know, doing the thing. And Alma's in the distance, but then suddenly she starts approaching because I think Chatacabra got like tired or winded or something. And then Alma comes in, and then she sits next to my sacred. And I'm analyzing this footage after gameplay, because during the gameplay I didn't notice it.
No, yeah.
But after the gameplay, I'm paying attention, and she's sitting next to my sacred for a little bit, and then it says supplies have been delivered, and then she leaves. And I was like, they've actually programmed Alma coming in, going next to your sacred, dropping the supplies, and then leaving. Again, I'm not sure if this was just like a crazy coincidence that it happened like that in my gameplay footage, but it felt intentional. So I really like that they actually went to that
that's
little
cool.
detail. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that was I didn't pay attention to that. That's actually really neat though, because now you don't have to like, oh, like now I have supplies.
You
I
don't
gotta go
have
back to get those.
Yeah, you don't have to get them. They're just straight up. Alma just delivers them to your sacred, and you just go to the sacred and get them. Yeah.
And then now there's an animation that's related to that too, right? Like you're not like just wondering
Again,
how the hell did these get in here?
No, I don't know if I was just lucky and something weird happened, or if that's. But it seemed very intentional because she went in there and dropped the thing, and then the supplies opened up, and I was like, "That's crazy if that's was intended."
Yeah, there's another thing about Sacred that nobody's mentioning, and I, as a longsword user, really appreciate is that. Like, I usually don't play with the poly, okay? Because when you play longsword, you want to counter attack every time, so you want the monster to focus you, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, just say
really...
it like it is. Longsword users hate cats. I know.
You know how
no,
most of them call their cats. You know how, especially TA wiki speedrunners. No, useless.
Useless.
You have so many TA wiki speedrunners, and especially longsword mains, that all their cats are called useless.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are terrible. But anyway.
Yeah, and I was saying, and the cool thing about Sacred that I really appreciated is that the Sacred, once it brings you there in that point, then he leaves. He's not gonna attack the monster alongside you. He's just gonna bring you there, and that's it, and he's gonna leave. And I think that's amazing. Like, that's something I really like about Sacred, because he's not gonna interfere with the fight. The fight is not gonna become chaotic because he's gonna, jump and run around like the Palamute in Rise Sunbreak. Yeah. So I think that's a really nice thing that they decided to do.
I'm gonna name my Sacred not useless.
Not useful. Actually doing something.
Also on the Sacred thing, I don't know if I think it works like that. If you are mounting on the Sacred and you open the menu, the Sacred start going around in circles around the monster, dodging everything, like trying to get time until you're ready and you get out of the menu again, like an auto-pathing.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Initially, I was very hesitant when they mentioned, because I think they mentioned in the website the auto dodges, and then you would actually see in one of the trailers you would see him auto dodging, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't know about that. But when it was actually in practice, I was like, actually, I don't care. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things that, like, it's just useful, right? Like, why do you want to get interrupted during an inventory check on your bird, right? Like,
I do care about the fact that sharpening is too free if you do it on Sacred. It is way too free.
Oh,
yeah. Very, very.
Yeah. It's almost to the point where you could almost remove sharpening. It's so free, because unless some monsters, and I have a feeling that there probably will be, some monsters will be able to like dismount you, and that might trigger some kind of a cooldown or something like that. So
like a roar or something.
Yeah, so if you're too freely doing that stuff, like, when your palicos, they run out of health and they burrow underground and then they're gone for a while, I kind of feel like that might end up happening to Sacred. Like, he gets punted over the head by a monster and he's like, oh no, I'm scared now and I'm gonna run away and you can't call me anymore for, until I recover from my fear. So but I do feel like right now, if things work the way that they did with the demo build that we were playing, I feel like sharpening and healing and eating food is way too free, because you just like, there were moments, because I remember Jono had told me that, there's going to be limits to Sacred, and there was a time where I was like, I want to practice jumping attacks, and then I just, I was just calling Sacred, jump, Sacred, jump. I did this like 3 or 4 times, and not once was Sacred like, hey, that's too many calls. He's like, no, it's fine. He just kept coming back, and I was like, oh, let's go. Sacred jump until I got the mount. And so there wasn't any limits, which means that sharpening is just free in Wilds.
Yeah. I also noticed that, yeah.
Well, I mean, if at some point in the future in the Monster Hunter games they will decide to get rid of sharpness, I don't know, like, it would be a really big change, because Monster Hunter has always been, sharpness from the very beginning. But if you think about it, I don't know if you played Wild Arts, for example, I didn't miss the sharpness mechanic. Like, you did? Really?
100%. Yeah, like it's a very like I very much enjoy the hunting aspects of Monster Hunter and the preparation aspects, and you know, Wild Hearts was much more arcadey in that sense. Even though Wild Hearts had a stupidly convoluted food system, like I don't know who thought that up. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
first you roast it, then you smoke it, then you pickle it,
Then you bake it.
then you. It's like, bro,
I just want to make food.
Okay? I just want my food
Yeah.
buffs. I don't want to play Cooking Mama. This is crazy. You need like a whole production facility to get your food done in Wild Hearts. I was like, I don't understand. Like everything else about this game is great. Your food system is ass. I'm sorry, but you know, getting back to the whole what were we talking about?
Sharpness topic.
The
Sharpness.
Yeah, the sharpness. Getting back to the sharpness, I really like the preparation aspects and the fact that no, you need to maintain your weapon while you're playing monsters. As a matter of fact, that was one of the complaints that I had with Sunbreak is that if you make the Amatsu set, you effectively beat sharpness. Sharpness is actually gone.
It's gone.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter anymore. You can just straight up remove it as a mechanic. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like it just feels really weird that you can just remove this mechanic from the game and there's no penalty for it. It was strange. So yeah, I would rather keep sharpness and I would want it to be relevant. I don't like the fact that it's as free as it is on Sacred. And there's always a lot of people, they just tell me, well, you don't have to do it on Sacred. It's like, well, yeah, you know, and if I fly to America, I don't have to make a pit stop at China. But I can, I guess. You know, it's like it doesn't make any sense, right? It's one of those things. It's in the game. Why am I not going to use it? But
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So the thing
That's
is,
fair.
the thing is like we got many skills from 15, but even before, like with Razor Sharp. Like look at Master Touch, for example. It was another skill to mitigate the sharpness problem that melee weapons have. I think it will help also reducing the difference between bowguns and melee weapons, because nowadays, like, we know that in every generation bowguns has always been the best DPS weapons, right? And I'm not saying that if you remove sharpness that's not gonna be the case anymore, but that's gonna mitigate it, okay? Like, because like if you think for example about dual blades, like they really consume the sharpness really fast, and I mean even Longer does it, right?
Beppo?
No.
You have no
And
idea
sorry,
what you're
and
talking
sorry, so
like, 'cause, like,
I mean,
listen,
I did
Old
no,
Burst-
wait. Actually,
Old Burst
I
is
did
more
play
like a full
Gunlance in
sharpness
second
gauge.
generation. No, actually, you're right. I did play Gunlance in second generation, so I know what you mean. The sharpness
Yeah,
management on Gunlance in second
Shelly?
generation, yes.
I never played
I know
Gunlance.
that. I know that. So
It's miserable. Like actually in Wilds it's actually really good compared to previous generations. It's not nearly as bad because basically you know how some weapons it's like, well, I like having a sharpness skill because it makes it more comfy. In Gunlance it's more like, oh, would you like to use the weapon? Then you need a sharpness skill.
Yeah.
So the thing I'm saying is that we are getting these kind of skills which will mitigate the issue with the sharpness, like Master Touch. Even I don't remember the skill where you roll and you get sharpness back if you
Oh yeah.
The Sergio set.
Yeah.
and you as well.
Steve said, yeah.
Exactly. Then the Amatsu are more in Sunbreak. Like I'm pretty sure we are gonna get something more, even more in Wilds and in 6th generation games. The thing is that at some point we are gonna get so many skills to mitigate the sharpness issue, and sharpness is already free in Wilds, as you said. So what's the point of having it if it's gonna be free? That's the thing.
That's the thing. I don't think it should be free. I think you should be.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what if it's gonna be free? Because that's I think it's the direction we are taking.
You are correct. Like for the people that usually tell me, well, you don't have to do it in Sacred. And it's like, well, if it's done in Sacred, why are we even doing it at all? We can just remove it from the game at that point because it's that free. It's not. People also like to bring up, well, in the older games you would exit the area and then sharpen, and they bring this up almost as if like, how many times did you try exiting the area and got laser blasted in the ass by Rajang?
Oh
Or
yeah.
Gravios.
It's like, it's not as free as hopping up on Sacred and sharpening, is it? Exiting the area. People like to say exiting the area like in old school Monster Hunter games, the monsters couldn't catch up to you before you exit the area.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't just turn your back on old school Monster Hunter because the
Nope.
monsters would catch up to you and beat you to an inch of your life. So yeah,
Mm,
it wasn't as free. You would be eventually be safe, but yeah.
Mhm.
good times, old times, old
Yeah.
times, old times. Remember the times where I got killed by Kongalala, which is coming back. Kongalala is coming back, guys.
We
Oh,
don't
yeah.
really know for
It's
sure.
Oh,
Conga.
it
It
is.
is Conga.
It is.
There's
Come
no way
on.
that
I don't know, man. I saw baby
Come on.
Tetsukabra and Rise, and I was sorely disappointed, man. Oh, yo, Tetsu's coming back. Plays through all the way.
Nope.
What the
Never
man?
mind.
Yeah, I literally never got him.
The best part about when we saw that armor set was Kanta put up a small clip
Oh,
where it's just
yeah.
like he dies to Kongalala and a Kongalala just
farted
walks
on.
up, poops on his face and leaves.
Two of them.
Yeah, just like goes up like there you go. Bye.
It's a fantastic
fun.
monster. It's absolutely a fantastic monster. I can't wait to be farted on again by Kongalala and die.
10 out of
HD.
10 would get farted again.
Yeah.
HD poop all up in
Would
my
recommend
face.
this.
Literally get shit on by the monster. I love it.
Yeah, prepare your deodorant, guys.
I mean, listen, it's only fair considering we have mega dung bombs.
Oh yeah, true.
That's true. That's true.
That'd be
That's
kind
true.
of
I wasn't
crazy. That's a
expecting
thing.
that to be a thing. The mega dung bombs. That's really
crazy. Listen.
what.
This is what I have to say about dung pods. Okay, I wouldn't keep a turd in my inventory. That's disgusting. I don't know why people do that. I don't use dung pods. I'm a civilized human being. I don't fling poop like an ape. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Also, the luring pod. Did you guys see that?
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's cool. This I like a lot.
Yeah, one of
100% main tank every time.
Oh god.
exactly. And when I was recording, Jono told me that it works exactly like the behemoth enmity that you had in
Yeah,
Horde.
the red line. Yeah.
The
Exactly.
raid sniper thing, yeah. Mm.
Exactly.
I was also surprised when I played and saw the paintballs ones.
I don't know what those do though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Same.
I used them and I was like, okay, it didn't change anything at all.
Yeah, because what's the use of having paintball if you can see everything and track down everything through the map, right?
Well, I wonder if that
told
was
me-
just.
So the
Uh-huh.
description in the game says that the slinger ammo that makes a monster or location temporarily easier to find. That's what it's written.
Easier to find.
Yeah.
Yet. Isn't it already very easy to find them?
It is,
Maybe
but,
you can lose track of the monsters.
I
Yeah.
think it's related
Maybe?
to the stars theme, maybe. To the difficulty thing, maybe there are two
Oh
mon-
yeah, some monsters might be able to like sneak away from you if they have high enough level because they're
Maybe.
experienced monsters. Yeah,
and you can
like
keep the hunt.
think almost like what was his face? Deadeye Jan Garuga is like he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He's not messing around, so he can hide.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
That would be really cool, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would figure that it would start like the tracking would start fading away over time too. So like you would have to paintball it again to make sure like you can still track
That
onto
would
it.
be so cool. I know that people don't like that, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro, no, make it harder for me to find the monster. Hell yeah! As a matter of fact, I hope they bring back the guy in the balloon. Then you can like,
Oh
"Hey!"
yeah, the
Oh,
temporary
this was so
temp-
cool. I missed that.
the free
Bring
cycle
back
serum.
I
balloon,
missed that. It was so
dude.
nice.
Exactly. How many
was so
times would you
nice.
like, oh crap, I forgot my paintball, but wait, I know balloon dudes will got my back. Let's
Yeah.
go."
Where it is.
And it's like,
If there's
you're
anybody's
trying-
that got my back, it's balloon dude.
balloon guy. And it's like if you're like a speedrunner and you're trying to get good times, psycho serum. There you go.
There you
It's
go.
still
Yeah.
there. There's other solutions to it, but I liked it.
So like I kind of would like to not see track gathering be a thing anymore. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like track gathering, it's a cool concept, but just give me paintballs. Let me just throw the paintball at the monster and just be done with it. Like,
if you want to exchange track gathering for paintballs, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, me
it's like,
too.
so long as there's
Yeah. Totally
something
down.
there, I'm fine. But I can
Yeah.
tell you right now, a majority of people in the community, every time that I
They
say
love
the
the
word
tracks.
paintball, every time I say the word paintball, they're like, "Bro, go back and play the older games.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Play the
I
new
will.
games. Go back
I'm
to the
already
older
doing it.
games, old
Yeah.
timer.
I'm already going back to 4U, GU,
Like,
all of them.
You friggin' boomer, go back to the old games." And I was like,
Listen. Again. Track gathering's cool. The concept's great. It makes like you're hunting a monster. You have to figure out where it's going. But like,
Yeah.
we had paintballs. Like there was nothing. Oh, what's so bad about? Especially now because the paintball mechanic is now different in terms of throwing it at the monster, right? Because before in the older generations, you threw it with your hand and you had to pray you hit it.
That was
Yeah, you're
hard.
like,
People
Kobe.
don't know.
Yeah,
Easy to miss.
Good
yeah,
luck.
easy to miss. But now with this one, we have that slinger. Like it's easier to just throw at the monster. Like it.
Yep. You can just
This is
aim
this.
it.
Yeah, like this is the thing. Like I love it when you bring up an old mechanic that people just shit on because they still think of it as an old mechanic. Where people,
It was
we're in
fun.
2024. we've learned. We're now doing this. Like I was joking around with my community. I was just like, I hope they bring back underwater mechanics again. Like, and everyone was like, "Oh, underwater mechanics sucks." Like I hated that.
I don't want
and I'm like,
underwater
so long-
mechanics.
no, listen.
So long
Again,
as they adapt the combat, I'm okay with it.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I would
And
have to
that's the
agree.
thing that I keep-
If the
Traumatized by it.
combat is improved, then it's totally fine.
And that's the thing that I keep telling people is like, yes, underwater combat back in the old games sucked absolute balls, and I hated
Unless
it.
you were
I guarantee
Shin
it.
Cry and played Titans, then it was
Exactly.
Yeah. But at least with in the newer games, I would hope, I would pray that Capcom, understands that in the newer technology, there's a new mechanic to go around underwater battles or underwater gameplay as well. Again, not that it would happen. I don't think we're in desert areas. I haven't seen an ocean in the game yet, and I don't know if we're gonna get one, but one can hope, one can dream. But
Mm.
yeah, paintballs instead of tracking, please. Like that's all I want. I don't want to go get feets or poop or feathers or whatever I need to get from a monster just so I can find out it's right there. I physically see the monster. I know where it is.
Mm.
There is such a thing as too much QOL.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
I
I
mean,
would like to. Oh, Shin, you want to say something?
yeah, something really fast.
Do it.
They could keep the track system, but only related to the information of the monster. What I mean, not to the location, but the more tracks you get, the maybe the weakness spots, the loot they can drop. So
Yeah, for your hunter's notes.
Yeah.
exactly
The
more
research
you
itself.
add, the more
I
you
can
know.
see that.
So it's
Yeah.
optional for the new people. Like, oh, I need more information about the monster. I'm gonna collect some tracks in the way. I will do it like that in a kind of optional way, not related to the hunt itself.
Mm.
Mhm,
I could
that's a
see
nice
that.
idea.
Yeah, I could see that, and that would be really cool. I don't know, counting. It's because I used to speedrun World a bit like 0%, and I know a couple other people also still do it to this day. But like track gathering to get to the elders and trying to find out where they're at, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Like it was cool that there are ways to circumvent that, especially if someone's already ahead of you. They could just pop up the monster, have it flash on your screen, you hunt it real fast, and it's like, okay, cool, I have it unlocked.
Yeah.
But if you are all on the same playing field, or if you're gate locked and you had to actually find like the tracks themselves, it was easily one of the biggest pace killers in freaking World. It just sucked so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
That's
there,
my
there
rant.
was there was one topic last topic that I really wanted to bring up before we end. It was how we all felt with the Capcom community managers, because from with my experience, it was the first time that I was actually meeting them in real life, and I was really I had no expectation when I got there. I mean, of course, I wanted to greet everyone and say hello. But I was very, 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 very grateful that they kept taking care of us so much. Despite running everywhere and having to coordinate the streams, they took the time to greet us when we were queuing, when we're not queuing, tell us where Yozo was, so we could take pictures with him, and a little attention like this. And I felt it was very nice and very, very, very kind from them. And I'm expecting like a lot from them in the when Wilds will be released to bring the community really together, because in the end that's what we want, right? So I was wondering if you guys felt the same, and yeah, if you had any cool moments to tell us.
They suck. I hate them all.
Damn, bro.
Bro,
No.
Hey,
no,
Capcom,
absolutely.
that guy right there.
This guy. No, like I've obviously had multiple conversations with Jono, and not just Jono, but even his predecessor, Socks, and at least so far, every community manager that I spoke with from Monster Hunter has been top notch. Like Jono is amazing, super accommodating. Joe from the US team, also amazing, super accommodating. Josh, the same. And they're super approachable. Like, you know, they were super concerned about the people, they were checking in on the queues, making sure that everything was going fine and that everything was being smoothed out. And yeah, they're just super professional and super helpful towards the community. At least that's the way that I look at it, because not everybody is willing to like even just go over here and do a random podcast with a random person. And I've always been able to like reach out to them, and no real big issues. So yeah. And let me tell you something. If you guys think, for instance, Jono, who was like one of the main community managers that was always hanging out there, that he was busy, you have no idea. There was this one point I was in the business booth, and I kid you not, Jono was like in the middle of the business area, and he was getting called out from someone like on the opposite end that was trying to get an answer from him, somebody else on this side, and then somebody right in front of him trying to have a conversation. And I'm literally sitting there looking at this, and he's like, okay, you like this, this is the thing, and I was like, this is insane.
He's so pro. That's so cool. I wish I had such good communication skills. Damn.
And multitasking skill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have no idea. Like, here's a little behind the scenes. Jono was so nervous about the stage presentation.
Really? No way. He was acting it really well.
Yeah, he did amazing. But in the beginning, he was so nervous. You guys have no idea.
I think we were the ones who were shy around him. I did not expect him to be so tall. Jono is actually so tall.
Yeah, that was a
so tall.
surprise.
Like hello?
I had seen him in camera from when we had done podcasts before, and then the one time that I went to the UK to play Dragon's Dogma 2, and John was like, "Oh, I'll meet you at the station." I was like, "All right." So I'm expecting like a scrawny looking dude, and Jono comes up, and I'm like,
yeah, exactly. You're like,
and it's like, it's not even just like, he's not just tall, he's tall and buff. So it's just like, what the hell? It's insane. Yeah.
He could be hunting in real life. Literally, he's the monster hunter. He's actually the monster hunter.
Yeah,
give him a sword and shield, and he can go.
But then again, this seems to also be like a UK thing. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw 2-6 in Paradise, for instance. Paradise is also very tall. Yeah. And if you were to see Eric's is also very tall. So the one time that I went to the UK, like, I'm actually above average height, so like 1.8 meters. It's slightly above average height. In the UK, I'm like, I'm a dwarf. I'm a midget next to these people. Like, what the hell's going on? Everybody's way taller than me. I'm not used to this.
Totally.
All right.
Yeah, but talking about the CM, I also had an amazing experience with Jono. Like, he was really kind, easygoing person. He took his time to sit next to me when I was recording and explaining stuff. It was the first time I was playing the multiplayer build, and he was explaining me everything, all the details. He was really nice person. Like, we are really lucky, I think, to have such an amazing person to be our CM.
Yeah.
And you feel that they really want to be invested. I mean, I don't know how you will feel about it, but I feel that the bonds with that we have all with Capcom is just gonna be even stronger and deeper, I think, in Monster Hunter Wilds, because we see them everywhere. They're trying to help out any content creator, no matter their size. Because for me, I felt that I had really a good connection with all of them. But to be honest, like, my numbers are not that impressive now. And I felt that was really cool from such a big company as Capcom to, say to you, we know that you're doing content about our game. We're here and we're going to help you out. So I'm really also grateful that we have such a cool team, because Jono is not alone. You have like all the CM team really.
Yeah,
I met all of them. They're absolutely lovely. Absolutely
they've
lovely.
added a lot. They've hired a lot of new CMs in the ramp up of marketing of Wilds. They hired there's an Italian CM, Spanish CM.
Yeah.
I actually met a lot of
French
them
CM.
in the business. Yeah, French CM. There's a lot of them that I met in the business area. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, personally, I also have a good experience, not only with Jono, but with Maria, the Spanish one.
Maria. She was so cool. Yeah.
She was like really, really, really awesome, because like Nick said, and also like really small, sorry.
Small?
Yeah, like in content creation, I mean. Like, nobody knows me in general, okay? So she took their time to talk with me, to tell me to go say hi to her. It happened this thing that I didn't want to bother her. So afterwards, she came to me like, why did you
literally her job.
Yeah. She was like, send me a DM. Like, did you queue for the demo? And I was like, yeah. And she told me, I could, you could skip the queue. Why did you do that? Yeah. And she told me, wait here, and came with a fast pass, And I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So of course I was like, okay, she's great. A very good experience with her.
I think I've
What
met...
about you guys from the other side of the sea?
I've met like maybe 5 total community managers from Capcom now, but specifically speaking on like Monster Hunter side, I've met, hung out with, talked to, and probably hunted a couple of times with like Yuri and with Socks. I thought that they were an awesome pair of community managers too, especially Socks. Like, I had a pretty fun time hanging out with them when we did like a Capcom dinner, and we were all like doing KBBQ with like the Arex team when
Socks is a character, dude.
Socks is a character. Awesome. I don't think I've ever been called meaty by anyone before, but like when there was the 2018 E3 speedrunning thing that I joined on like day 2, and when he was commenting on my gameplay, because I was actually a competent player compared to everyone that was on day 1. I was like, this longsword guy is meaty, and like when I heard the commentating after the fact, I busted laughing. But like
all you need to know about Socks really is that when the greatest check? No, it was Devil Joe. His marketing post for Devil Joe was, "Oh Lord, he coming!" in all caps. That was
really
post. Yes. Oh Lord, he coming.
Oh man,
so much fun.
But I think the Capcom community, or at least the Monster Hunter community in specific, we're in very, very good hands. I mean, like Joe and Jono, everything that's been tossed their way and everything that they've been dishing out has just been so on point. My experience with Joe has always been really good. He's been really quick to like answering my DMs and stuff like that. And in fact, me and Nix are working on something with him right now. So hopefully that'll go through pretty soon. But with Jono, I've actually had experience working with him when he was still working for Team 17 or Team 18, right? But I think it was Team 17, but it was the company that made like Worms and whatnot. But
It's
I worked
Team 17.
Yeah, Team 17. So I worked with him on a good number of titles there, and then especially after he made the switch to like Capcom, he's just been so on it. And I don't know, I don't think I've ever told you, Johnny, but I actually had a one-on-one conversation with him. Like, this just kind of speaks to the character of like Jono and just how amazing he is. But he actually took the time to sit in a Discord voice call with me one-on-one, because I had questions about like, what it's like to work as a community manager and what he suggests someone like me who's interested in getting to that field, what I should do and stuff like that. We had like a whole hour conversation just talking about that, and then like
Yep.
you know, that's
Super
just
accessible, dude.
super amazing. That just goes to show you how easily accessible he is, how easy he is to just talk to, and like honestly, just the pairing between him and Joe and everyone else in the communication team. Like, I think this is probably the best team that we could possibly ask for right now. Like, we are
Yes, I
very
agree.
much in the best hands right now.
I agree. Absolutely. All right. Then, guys, when do you think the game will be released? Can we make predictions?
Now,
Because we
Right
can't
now.
wait to play
I
it.
want it right now.
21st of March 2025.
That's super specific.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Are you hiding
Can't
something?
wait for Reddit
You
to
ha-
clip
yeah,
this
do
and
you
say
know things?
officially confirmed.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. Just
No,
gonna
it's just
cite
like
some
thought-
sources.
No, this is blind speculation, absolute blind speculation.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is somewhat informed speculation. It is based on the fact
Mm.
that traditionally we usually see these games come out within quarter one financial year. Not quarter, I don't know. It's something fiscal
Yeah.
year, and it usually means it's before the end of March. And I remember looking at the date. I think the 21st lands on like a Thursday or something. But this was a long time ago that I was looking at this. So it's like the other date would be too close to the end of the month, whereas this date would be just enough wherein, you know, you release the game, you sell like a couple of million copies, and you can say, hey, look how many million copies we've sold before end of fiscal year and blah, 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 blah. So the conclusion that I've reached is I thought 21st of March, 2025. But I thought we are going to get that date at Gamescom, and we didn't. So I don't know.
Mm,
Okay.
Right. I also think that we are gonna get it in March, and I'll
Yeah.
go even farther than that. I would say that we are probably gonna get the demo next year in January. in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Oh, really?
Exactly that. Yep.
That's my.
Why not?
prediction.
Why not in
Maybe.
October or November this year? No?
I don't think so, because they hasn't released the release date yet. So I think like that's gonna be farther away. The
Okay.
demo.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, because I will say, like, I know a lot of people were hoping for it to come out after TGS, which I
Mhm.
was one of those people too. But really thinking about it, seeing as that we're still playing around with a build version of the game, we're like, they still need to fix, like, polish it up a little bit, like a little bit more before they decide to put it out to the public. So
Definitely.
it would definitely have to be somewhat of early Q1 for the demo, and then I would say even like middle of Q2 maybe for the game
Mhm.
release. But I mean, we'll
Maybe.
again.
It's like
Yeah.
all predictions are valid at this point.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's kind of where my demo like January-ish, and then the game would release like April, May of next year.
Mm. I would
I-
hesitate between March and April, personally.
I
Yeah.
think we gonna have to wait to January because they gonna keep releasing like events with the demo, with the build. So it's too early in that sense.
Mm.
Depending on the structure of the demo, because it depends a lot. If the structure is kind of similar like War, the War
Mhm.
beta, it had
Mhm.
like 3 betas, if I remember correctly. So I think it will fit, like having the late January, the first demo with the normal monsters. Then around mid-February, having the second demo with the normal monster and plus increase spawn rate of the special one, like they did with Puke Puke, if I remember correctly. And then the early March demo, the third one, that will include the flagship, like they did with Nerd Gigante.
Mm.
And afterwards, obviously, late mid-March, like Rudy said, the release. I think it will fit the dates.
Mm.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they're gonna follow the same structure they did with War, but if they do, I think those will be the dates.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's also like a financial standpoint too, right? Like when they decide to drop this game is going to be beneficial for the company to make money. Like in the end, it's also going to come down to that, right? Like as much as we want it to come out early, the company needs to make money and they need
Hey,
to
you
drop
know
this
who
game.
else- You know who else wanted it to come out early? Some of the Capcom investors going like, why don't you just release it in holiday 2024?
Yeah.
Wow.
just
That would
release
be-
the game, like just like
That'd
that.
be way
People
too
want to buy
early.
it. Do it now.
No, but they were just like, because it would make us more profits if you were to
It
release
would.
Yeah.
Real
It
talk.
would,
I
but
was like,
man,
brother, come on now.
I-
What do you mean?
If they
I'm
did
gonna
that,
put it in the chat if you're interested.
if they did
Oh,
that,
fuck.
it would end up
I
like
got
another Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh my god, Shin, you got banned from my chat
There you
because you
go.
posted a link.
Ban
Shin.
the Spaniard.
You cannot
Get
post
rid of
links in my chat. Shin.
I put in the Discord, sorry.
that's so
Oh, yeah,
funny.
it says right
I'm
there.
so
Would
sorry.
you be able to capture more profit by bumping up the release date of the next Monster Hunter title, currently scheduled for 2025, to the December 2024 holiday season? Just release it early.
I think if they were to release it in the holiday the 2024 shopping holiday season, I think that will
It
probably
would sell like hotcakes.
It would sell like
100%.
hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
But
But
the game was not going to be
it's
finished,
not gonna be
and it was
finished.
going to destroy their reputation with the community.
Absolutely.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be
it was a
like what happened with
terrible idea.
Rise, right? Because like we didn't get like an actual ending to that game until like post-release.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
God.
don't want to see that.
yeah, no.
We want them to
That was,
release a full game.
Yep.
Give us
Yeah.
the meat. We can wait. It's all good.
Like the
Yeah,
day-
we have other games.
Exactly.
We have
we have
other
more
games.
worlds. We
Yeah.
have Final Fantasy. We have whatever insert game that you're playing right now.
Cooking Mama 4.
Cupping Mama 4,
Yeah.
Honey Pop 5 or whatever. I don't know.
shit.
Just
Do you guys think are they gonna announce the release date after Tokyo Game Show?
I think
I don't
so.
know.
I,
Maybe.
I would hope so.
I think it's gonna be in the Game Awards, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ah.
I wouldn't. I
yeah.
wouldn't have expected it at Tokyo Game Show, but in our recent podcast, Joe said, "You know, Tokyo Game Show is their home turf," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
Yeah.
hint, hint,
So it's,
nudge,
like,
nudge.
it's not. There's no confirmation.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
know
but-
what's going to happen, but he did say they're bringing a lot of stations there and they're doing a lot of stuff. So I don't know.
And I think they're expecting it too, right? Like they know the community is just like, can give us the date already. Just drop a date. But
Yeah.
no, we'll see. I mean, I hope me being hopeful it would probably be at TGS that we get an actual release date, but
Mm.
you know, we'll see.
I think it would be weird to announce the release date on an Eastern facing event when it's much more of a global franchise right now.
Yeah.
It
Mm.
almost feels like a couple of steps back, but at this point, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think what would be the really coolest thing, I think this is like one of the biggest power moves that Capcom could do, is if they were just like, we're just going to do a dev diary and announce it there
Probably
on our own event. Not at Tokyo Game Show, not at Gamescom, our event. We decide the date and we announce it now.
But it
I
would be
think that would
nice.
Be the biggest power
would
move.
be-
Just
it would
like
be
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
a dev diary
Yeah.
with a release date. Boom,
Mm.
done.
Mm.
Why not? Why not? Everything is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. One thing that we know for sure is that Wilds is gonna be wild. I can't wait to play the game.
See what you did there.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, no, I really
Uh,
I cannot wait to play
yeah,
the
I
game. I
think-
think we're all
Yeah, it's gonna-
excited.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Cool,
But it's
cool.
like it's like how Knight said, right? Like we got this taste of it, and now we
want
really can't
more.
wait for it. Yeah.
want more.
Which me and Knight will be getting at TwitchCon.
We're so jealous.
I mean,
I'm so jealous.
Very jealous.
there's also the Paris game.
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah.
The Paris Games Week, yeah.
Yeah. You're
You're
gonna
not
go to that
go,
next?
Me?
You have to go. You're French.
Yeah.
Like you.
I live in Germany.
Oh. Yeah, but you're French, so like.
Yeah, okay, well, who's paying for the tickets?
I
I have a
Go.
full-time
It's
job.
like,
just go,
I
just
cannot
show
just
up.
go.
What are you
Yeah.
waiting for?
I have a
can't walk
full-time job.
there?
I'm not allowed to take so much holidays. I'm not allowed.
Yeah, but it's a Monster Hunter, so like that's all you have to tell me. It's Monster
That's what
Hunter.
I'm
They're
gonna
like,
say
"Oh,
to my
I get it."
manager. Yeah, sorry, there's Monster Hunter, guys.
Personal business.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I know I
And
don't
then
have
they're-
holidays anymore, but
Yeah, and then you're like, understandable. Have all the time you need. Actually, take some of the company
Imagine.
money too.
that would be the dream job, honestly. Imagine if your company would understand that you need to attend events like that, and you don't even have to take holiday time. You can just go whenever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, you can dream.
That's
I'm not sure, but
That's-
didn't that happen in Japan? Actually?
oh, I don't know.
Oh, with like releases with Monster Hunter
Mm.
stuff like that, where companies are like, all right, we all know you guys are gonna play Monster Hunter. Just
so
have
they
the
gave
week
them
off
the
or
day
something like
off?
that. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that,
Is that really
Wow.
something?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I remember reading something like that.
yeah.
'Cause, like
That's-
Monster Hunter is a major phenomenon in Japan. So
It's a
Mhm.
religion.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, on this funny note and cool note, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up.
Mhm.
It was really cool. I think we talked about a lot of different things. I will leave you do some closing notes if you want.
An outro.
By turn. If you want to shout yourselves out on any content that you plan to upload really soon, feel free to. Yeah, Johnny,
Oh man.
of course, you're the first.
I mean, I'm not really working on anything now. Unfortunately, long form content for me is like my Achilles heel when it comes to content creation. So I just do mostly streaming. But
Which is content
Um,
creation.
it is, yeah. But I would like to upload a video one day to YouTube and be like, hey, that's up there. But yeah, chat. If you haven't, definitely swing by the channel. I do a lot of open lobby sessions for both World and Rise, as well as other variety games we're always playing around with. Very fun community that we have going on my side. So if you like cringy gameplay and even cringier dad jokes, definitely swing on by. And yeah, I'm gonna pass it off to Nightside now because Night's really good at doing this.
So if there's anything that I would like to plug in that I'm working on is going to be the card game series. As you guys know,
Yes.
Nyx, Johnny is a part of it, and Pebble's been helping out with some of the the shouting up. I can't English today. I'm sorry. Advertising
And that's
it.
a wrap.
But as you guys know,
Thank
we've
you.
been running off of the success of our first tournament, which is Card Games 1 back in May. So we have the next one coming up in October, and it's going to be a very big one to look out for. The prizes are going to be a lot bigger, especially since we have 2 sponsors. If you guys missed it, we have Intel and Logitech on board, and we might have some prize support from Capcom too. So if you guys are interested, it is going to be Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on PC. We are going to feature some custom quests, provided everything works out. So it'll be a very interesting one to catch. So that's going to be happening October 26th, 27th. It's going to be a 2-day tournament. And if you guys are interested, just check us out on Twitter or look up cardgameseries.com and it should pop up. So
And follow
Perfect.
Nightside because it's gonna be casting on his channel.
Yeah.
I
right
suck.
now,
Don't
click on that
follow
link.
me, small.
Click on that link, guys. Click.
But the link right there, gotta click it.
Oh my
Do it.
god.
Peppo,
Oh, it's my turn.
it's your turn.
Well, I've been busy the last days, but I'm planning to release as soon as I can. Probably this weekend, maybe at the beginning of next week, my full long-term breakdown about Wilds, whatever we know so far. There's still something that I would like to test, but I can't, of course, because I'm not gonna be able to play again Wilds, unfortunately. But somebody else, like Phil, could do that, maybe. So maybe he's gonna help in that regard. But yeah, other than that, I'm also planning at the end of this month, actually, even before that, in less than a week, I'm planning to bring another game on my channel. I'm planning to stream again and make content. It's gonna be a little bit different from Monster Hunter, but I think it's the perfect it's a perfect time to upload something different in waiting for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Especially with you being Italian, right? I know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, you know.
How do you know? How do you even know?
I mean,
How do
he's
I
a Souls
know?
game player, right?
Ah.
He is.
But you recognized the game immediately. That like, wow.
I mean, we spoke about it at Gamescom, so it's not
Oh, that's
particularly
true.
hard.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot. Never mind.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it.
All right. So for my part, I want everybody to go to Gaijin Hunter's channel on YouTube and comment on his whatever his latest video happens to be, and tell him to make a new one. That's what you guys gotta do. That's my shout out. Okay. And also the second shout out is play Gunlance. That's it.
There you go. Perfect.
Fair enough. Shin, do you want to go next?
I love how
Did I
Shin,
scare
there's
you?
Nobody left.
No,
Shin.
no. I was going to the Gaijin Hunter video right now, so
That's
Wow.
what I'm
Man's got
That's
his
the type
priorities.
of dedication that I expect.
so okay. No other personal shout out. I'm not planning right now on any specific content, but I just want to say that I'm really happy being here. It was really fun, and I hope people still come with me for this kind of meetings in the future. Like I'm always up for one of those. That's it.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank every single of you for being here together. It was really a really fun moment, a fun round table, and not just a podcast. It was a round table. Yeah, I've got mine right here.
Is that a Rathalos? What
Yeah, it's a Rathalos.
Oh.
And yeah, thank you for the chat, guys. You were here. You stayed here for 3 long hours. Thank you so much for being there with us and asking questions and reacting to what we said. I'm gonna be streaming next week on Monday and on Wednesday. Yeah, you will see also some new things coming from Phil and I, because as he mentioned earlier, we're cooking something with the Capcom CMs, so stay tuned on Phil's channel. Like, so just go and hit that button, that follow button. And yeah, I will be also streaming next week a new game that you guys never saw, so I'm also excited for that. We're gonna raid out and go see my friend Benshi, who's also streaming Monster Hunter right now. She's streaming Monster Hunter World Iceborne. She's doing an open lobby, so if you guys want to go say hi to her, now is the time. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. I think it was a great way to start the weekend for all
Heck
the
yeah.
people that worked hard this week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you
Thanks for
guys.
watching.
Bye.